It's Friday, July 31st. Today, extensive destruction following the latest summer storm. From toppled trees to down power lines, what's the trend in weather for the rest of the year? Also today, a hate crime investigation. What we know about an incident at a local mosque left with thousands of dollars in damage. Plus, seeking protection for her vulnerable son. One woman's simple solution for her child with autism who's prone to running away, but why she says it's out of reach for families like hers. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow. I think I said Friday off the top there.
Well, that's your inner monologue coming out.
It's coming.
We are excited. Friday before a long weekend.
Absolutely. Obviously, yeah, long weekend ahead. But we have a jam-packed show before that. Ainsley's in the West End this morning. She's at Thrive Community Support. It's a new hub for people living in the area. So she's going to learn about some of those services and programming happening there. In the 7 o'clock hour, we'll have the latest on that looming WestJet strike as well that could go in effect as early as Sunday. But as we mentioned, long weekend ahead. People are going to be tuning in this morning for that forecast. No pressure on you.
On the edge of their seats, yes.
Yeah.
We have so much lovely weather on the way. So I'll just get that out of the way right off the top because, yes, it's shaping up to be a beautiful weekend ahead. 13 degrees currently out there, hazy and a little bit cloudy. Winds pretty light this hour out of the northwest. The pressure on the rise, the humidity sitting at 94%. So, yes, not a lot to show you about on our radar. Crickets out there for once. Most of the province starting off clear, and then some clouds likely joining us later on into the afternoon. However, we also see a couple smatterings here or there, slight disturbances, bringing a low chance, about a 30% chance of rain or thunderstorms to much of the north and then as far south as the southwest. So Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin, so through the parkland. Low chance of that, but for the most part, mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures, though, are going to be warm above seasonal, but not as hot as we've been seeing the last number of days. Hallelujah for that. Into Friday, overnight Friday, excuse me, start to see those clouds stack up, particularly in the northwest, and again that low chance of rainfall and thunderstorms lingering to the southwest and all throughout the north as well. Into tomorrow, lots more sunshine, temperatures starting to heat back up, but we keep an eye on this system here that's likely to bring a good amount of rainfall into Sunday through parts of northern Manitoba. Not the case for us. Likely 28 degrees today, again that increasing cloudiness throughout the afternoon. Into Saturday, more of the same, a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 28, getting very hot on Sunday with a high of 30, but we take a dip on Monday. Maybe that's easier for folks who have to head back to work. 24 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, and about a 40% chance of showers.
It's been a stormy summer in Manitoba, and the one that swept across Winnipeg Wednesday night was just the latest hit. We're seeing everything from a tree toppled into a Charleswood living room to thousands of people without power. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows us the aftermath.
And all of a sudden, it just shot through the roof.
Charleswood resident Gunnar Friedrich and his wife were sitting in their living room late Wednesday night, watching a fast-moving storm. Friedrich says he stepped outside and saw a large branch from an ancient poplar tree in the front yard. Seconds later, adrenaline and sheer instinct kicked in.
And all of a sudden, we saw this massive tree just kind of like flapping up like this, like right out of the ground. And we were like, we have to get everything into another room. And then as soon as we did, that tree came right through our living room.
Friedrich's neighbor was shocked to see the aftermath Thursday. Extreme winds forced the tree's roots right out of the ground.
I've never seen a tree, being pulled out like this in my whole life. It's really scary.
In fact, those wind speeds on Wednesday exceeded 100 kilometers an hour, according to Environment and Climate Change Canada.
I would say probably in excess of 110 to 120 kilometers an hour over the city of Winnipeg. It's just been a trend towards a year with more rain and more wind and more severe weather.
And Proctor says the trend in weather patterns this year suggests there could be more storms to come as we approach the halfway point of summer. The damage from Wednesday's storm was not contained to Charleswood. This is what's left of the announcer's booth for football games in Maple Grove Park. And in Silver Heights, crews were hard at work restoring the downed farmers market at Food Fair.
We have to have this quick turnaround because we commit to these farmers for the season, right? Like, we need to make sure we can move their vegetables because this is their livelihood.
Meantime, Friedrich is hopeful insurance and city crews can help get their home back in order.
I just want to be able to move back in. Like, I know that there's a massive hole and everything, but I want to get the tree off my house, ideally.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
At 10 p.m. Thursday night, Manitoba Hydro posted on X indicating the damage is some of the worst ever seen by the utility for a summer storm, and as many as 14,000 customers are still without power. WestJet could start grounding flights as early as today ahead of Sunday's strike deadline.
It's like right in the middle of the potential strike.
The two sides are still talking in hopes of avoiding a strike that could start Sunday morning. But if there isn't enough progress, WestJet could start canceling flights ahead of the deadline to make sure no planes or crews are stranded. If you have a flight booked today or tomorrow, you have a choice. You can fly and risk getting stuck, or you have until August 4th to make a one-time change or cancellation without paying a fee. Air passenger rights advocate Gabor Lukács says it's a better idea right now to wait.
I strongly recommend not accepting a refund and not letting WestJet push a refund on you.
If WestJet cancels a flight, the airline would be on the hook for rebooking a customer or give a refund. If a strike does happen, about 75,000 passengers a day could be impacted. Search and rescue operations are underway in Pakistan after an avalanche on one of the world's highest mountains. 4 bodies have now been recovered from Broad Peak. Among the 10 people missing is renowned Nepali mountaineer Nirmal Persia. He was leading a group which included an American and Chinese national, a climber from Oman, and 5 climbers from Nepal. Persia is known for climbing all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter-plus mountains in a little more than 6 months in 2019. There's been no contact with his team since the avalanche happened around midday yesterday. Pakistan's military has dispatched 2 helicopters to help with the search effort. Major U.S. unions are speaking out on behalf of Canada and against some of the White House's trade tactics.
It's been a bit confounding to us as an international union whose members are on both sides of the border, why we as the United States have been targeting really a country that's been our best friend.
The United Steel Workers International and the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers have sent a letter to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade representative, Jameson Greer, urging him to reconsider the 50% tariffs on Canadian goods. The unions argue Canada is the wrong target, saying the focus should be on countries like China. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is back in Canada this morning after meeting with Greer this week. LeBlanc posted an image of their meeting earlier this week, but with no further details. His office says there were no breakthroughs and no further meetings are planned at this point. The city of Winnipeg wants a new community garden to spring up on the old exhibition grounds. The city has put out a request for proposals to transform the location into a space where fruits and vegetables can be grown. It will be located near the intersection of Sinclair Street and Dufferin Avenue. Whoever gets the contract will have to protect existing infrastructure such as play equipment, trees and light poles. At the same time, they'll supply and install planter boxes, new water service connections, and a new fountain. The city plans to spend $675,000 on the project and wants it completed by July next year. Hockey Canada's National Under-18 Men's Club Championship is coming to the Wheat City next year. The Keystone Centre has announced it's been selected as the host for the 2027 TELUS Cup.
And Hugh and Gardner out still scored!
You're looking at this year's bronze medal match, which went to the Regina Pat Canadians. The event brings together 6 teams from across Canada to compete for the national title. Organizers in Brandon celebrated the decision, saying it will highlight not only Manitoba's passion for hockey, but also generate a significant amount of economic activity. The championship at the 4,600-seat arena, which is also home to the Brandon Wheat Kings, will run from April 19th to the 25th. If hair can clog water in your drain, why can't it do the same for oil? In Brazil, filters are filled with hair collected from salons. The filters are then put in the water at a bay near Rio. They then soak up oil and other pollution left by shipping traffic. Hair is quite effective as a filter. Each gram of hair can absorb 5 times its weight in oil. Taking a look at the traffic situation along Portage Avenue there. Pretty smooth drive so far. You can text those tips to us at 10400. And joining us live this morning from the West End is Ainsley McPhail. What are you up to this morning, Ainsley?
We're at the brand new Thrive, the first media outlet to be able to get a sneak peek into the building before community gets to see it as well. They've got everything from a community kitchen to a little marketplace, and this truly is a community hub to allow folks and families to access the resources that they need and to take some of those classes to build on those skills. So, for example, cooking, anger management, prenatal, so many more. We're going to be learning about it at 6:42. And stay with us because families are so important. The Capital Campaign, $4.5 million, and generous donors have made this possible.
Good to hear. Looking forward to that, Ainsley. And heading up to the rooftop is Catherine Dow. Now a little cooler this morning than what we've seen the last couple days.
No complaints from me, Daniel, because yesterday I was sweating even into the early morning hours. We don't have that humidex in effect, making it feel so much more punishing than even our temperatures are reading. Right now we're at 13 degrees. Mild, lovely. A couple clouds here or there, but for the most part, decently clear. Winds are to the west-northwest at 8 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 97%. So about 75%, bad at math, but we'll go with that, percent of the province has a very low chance of rain and thunderstorms today. Low, likely not going to happen, but we'll get it out of the way out of the jump. So the areas all through the north and through to the southwest. So that includes Brandon, Neepawa, over to the Parkland, and yes, into the Paw, Thompson, Churchill. Low chance of that, likely, or if it happens at all, it'll be in the afternoon. Otherwise, all of Manitoba starting off on a clean slate. Lovely sunny skies like we're seeing now, clear, and those clouds start to build slightly into the afternoon. Temperatures a little bit more moderate for us in Winnipeg, but still above seasonal, 28 degrees. Much of the south will be dealing with highs into the upper 20s. A couple of degrees cooler to the north, peaking at the mid-20s. Strongish northerly winds, too, at 20 kilometers per hour. Happy to report much of the long weekend is sticking with this note. Sunny, hot, and yes, plenty of sunshine on the way, and temperatures getting even hotter into Sunday. 30 degrees is what we're looking at here in Winnipeg. Let's take a break, but we've got so much more Your Morning Winnipeg on the way on this Friday.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Turning now to an attack during a prayer service here in Winnipeg. Apparent bullet holes and smashed windows are being probed by Winnipeg hate crime investigators. Late Wednesday night, people were praying inside Rama Islamic Center in the Munro West neighborhood when the violence began. Winnipeg police say they were called around 11:30 p.m. about a possible shooting at the Watt Street Mosque. Police say gunfire came from inside a vehicle, then people got out with weapons and struck the building with the objects. No one was physically injured, but it's left the community shaken.
We are and have been always faithful, peaceful contributors to our community, our neighbors, and our city. Our neighbors have demonstrated the same last night when they came out and support us with the law enforcement.
Of note, police say earlier that same day, a different violent incident was reported, saying a vehicle drove by the mosque with people inside yelling slurs at folks gathering outside. Police say they're stepping up patrols around this and other mosques in the area. Anyone with information or video footage is asked to contact investigators. No suspects have been identified yet. The Canadian woman accused of spying on NATO was vetted by CSIS and cleared by Global Affairs before she started working at the Alliance. Using open data sources and court documents, CTV News has unmasked the identity of the one-time intern now charged with espionage. CTV's Judy Trin digs into the details.
Reuters reported that the Canadian intern arrested for spying on NATO was named Claire Zed. The name matches a former Statistics Canada employee identified in this federal court document. Claire Biwei Zhang was accused of fraud while applying for another government job. She was accused of deceiving the Canada Border Services Agency into thinking she was two different persons. Documents show Zhang was born in 1993. Her first language is Mandarin, but she speaks English and French.
Sleeper cells sit for very, very long periods of time.
Jody Thomas was Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's national security advisor. She says the history of the suspect in Canada will have to be carefully traced.
What we knew about her and what we should have known about her is going to be very telling.
Zhang has degrees in economics and engineering. A Facebook account linked to her shows that she was seeking an apartment in Mons, Belgium last year. The post from July 2025 says she's starting an internship at SHAPE NATO. SHAPE is NATO's military command center that makes decisions about deploying troops and weapons. Zhang was vetted by CSIS, then cleared by the Government of Canada to work there. Before NATO, Zhang's resume on LinkedIn claims she did work for the World Trade Organization, the Canadian Space Agency, and the European Space Agency. At the University of Ottawa, she was part of the Smart Connected Vehicles Innovation Center. The lab does research on artificial intelligence, self-driving vehicles, and drone and robot technology. This former CSIS director says the suspect was caught before potentially doing greater damage.
The payoff for that operation is 15 years from now when that individual is the director or director general or higher. That's the big payoff, because then you have access to real information.
Zhang first began working for the federal government in 2017. She was hired through a federal student work experience program. NATO has not said what third country the suspect is accused of spying for or what criminal organization she may have belonged to.
A French teen has been fined after pleading guilty to a straw-licking stunt in Singapore. The 19-year-old will pay a fine of about $650. Back in March, the teen posted a video of himself licking a straw at an orange juice vending machine, then putting it back. The clip led to backlash in Singapore, which is known for its strict rules on public order and hygiene. At the end, prosecutors agreed to a fine, saying there was no evidence of public harm. A longtime downtown business is closing its doors. Signs posted at the Giant Tiger at Donald and Ellis say it's closing November 7th. This isn't the first location the discount retailer has shuttered in Winnipeg in recent years. It closed a location on Main Street and another on McPhillips back in 2024. At the time, officials told CTV News while theft and violence were affecting its Winnipeg stores, they were not factors in the decision to close. We reached out to Giant Tiger to ask why they decided to close this latest location. We're still waiting for a reply. There's cute, and then there's this. This is a brand new red panda cub born right here at the Assiniboine Park Zoo. The zoo announced the birth on social media this week, but the cub was actually born in early June. Staff say both mom and baby are doing well. The baby will be made public later this summer, and a name has not been announced yet. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush on Provencher Boulevard, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Allno to Joseph Street. On York Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Gary and Main Street, and on McPhillips Street, the northbound curb lane will be closed from Notre Dame to McDermott Avenue. If you have any traffic tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Hazy and decently clear to kick off our day, and for once, not terribly hot. I have not been enjoying the humidex already kicking in those early morning hours through the last couple of weeks. Today, though, it's let up its grip a little bit. Currently, though, still pretty hot in Morton-Winkler, specifically 18 degrees. Portage also balmy at 17. Us in Winnipeg feeling much cooler at 13. Over in Dauphin, 14 degrees this hour. Up north, temperatures also starting the day on a cooler note. That has been the case through the rest of the week. Earlier this week, 12 degrees in Lynn Lake, 13 in Churchill, 6 in Thompson, over on Island Lake, 14 degrees, decently warm there. The Humidex, not much to show you today. That's the good news. Yeah, it's warming us up maybe a couple degrees, but nothing like yesterday where it was feeling closer to 30 already by about 7 a.m. Meanwhile, not a lot to show you on our radar because we're starting off on such a clear note, but of course we must talk about the air quality to the north, which does not register on the Skywatch due to all those ongoing wildfires and the humidity, the heat. Likely, although those air quality warnings are not in effect, air quality is still very much compromised. And as you can see, though, there is a little bit more concentration over the international border of clouds, just a touch, and we'll still see it start to pick up into the afternoon alongside our temperatures. 27, and as those winds ramp up as well out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. We're going to get slightly warmer than that, 28 degrees, that mix of sun and cloud and those northerly winds persisting as well into the overnight hours when temperatures dip down to 17 under partly cloudy skies. The weekend is looking picture perfect, if I do say so myself. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 28, even hotter on Sunday. Wow, this is a sight. Look at these gorgeous sunflowers snapped just outside Emerson by Lyle. Thanks for submitting, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Europe will boycott the next World Cup if FIFA goes ahead with a plan to sell stakes in the tournament to private investors. FIFA President Gianni Infantino wants to create a $20 billion spin-off company to run the World Cup with minority ownership stakes up for sale. Europe's governing soccer body, UEFA, is voting today to boycott FIFA competitions if the plan goes through. In a statement, the group said, quote, "Some things are simply too important to sell." The Soccer Confederation that Canada plays under, also known as CONCACAF, has also rejected the plan but stopped short of calling it a boycott. If you need a new furnace or air conditioner, you can buy them outright, make monthly payments, or sign a rental contract. You may also be pitched air cleaners, water softeners, and water heaters. Just make sure if you pay for something, you actually get it. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
The furnace is right behind your dresser.
Joe Kwiatkowski of Oshawa got a new furnace in 2022. It's a tight fit in his home, and he says he doesn't need to check it often. He agreed to buy the furnace and signed a 10-year contract.
I think it was some kind of a promotion, but I did need a furnace, so they came, looked at it, and says, okay, we'll replace the furnace.
Kwiatkowski says he was told he should also purchase a HEPA filter, which cleans the air. His original contract shows he was paying $110 a month for the furnace and $70 for the HEPA filter, although payments have gone up. He never really noticed a difference in the air quality in his home, and recently he needed to get a new air conditioner and was shocked when the installers told him the HEPA filter he's been paying for wasn't there. Is there a HEPA filter on it?
There is no HEPA filter on it. Absolutely none.
Over the past 4 years, the charges for the HEPA filter that was never installed now total $3,700.
Joe, you've been paying for a HEPA filter for almost 4 years, and you don't have one.
That's correct.
So what do you think of that?
They're taking money like out of my account for something I don't have. I'm paying for something I don't have.
Kwiatkowski signed the contract with Sandpiper Energy Solutions. When CTV News reached out to Sandpiper, the company said, "This matter has been resolved and our client has been informed." Sandpiper immediately canceled the HEPA filter contract and refunded Joe the $3,700, which was great news for him.
I'm very glad I called CTV. Very glad. I didn't expect such a fast response. Really, really thankful. CTV, you guys are the best.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
If you're looking to cut back on doom scrolling, there's an app for that.
The idea really came to mind 2 years ago when I wanted a healthier experience on social media.
Alexis is a student from Montreal who created the app LiveVO. The app gives users a feed with no ads and no algorithm. At the bottom, it just says, "You've seen it all, the rest is offline." Alexis is a business student, and an app that urges people to go offline may not sound like a big moneymaker, but Alexis says he didn't make the app for the money. Take a look outside. Traffic moving pretty smoothly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Bit of a hazy start to the day, but decently clear otherwise. 13 degrees. Good amount of sunshine as well. Winds out of the west-northwest, very light. Pressure is on the rise. Humidity at 97%. Not a lot to show you on our radar because there's not a lot of cloud coverage. Much of Manitoba is starting off on a pretty clear note. There's a little bit more dense clouds approaching there and the southerly points of our province, but for the most part, it's going to be a lovely day. 28 degrees for us here in Winnipeg. Nowhere near as sweltering as we saw 2 days ago. That was our peak, and even yesterday was pretty hot with that humidex. We won't be dealing with those extreme values today. That's the good news, at least for me. I don't love that heat. Winds will be strong out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. And again, we start off clear, and then the increase in clouds come into the afternoon. They stick around overnight for partly cloudy skies. Temperatures dip down to 17 degrees. Winds staying strong out of the north. From there, another picture-perfect day ahead on Saturday. 28 degrees, lighter northerly winds, and that mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. From there, Sunday looks to be a pretty hot one. 30 degrees, pretty clear skies as well. Monday, we get a bit of a drop-off, so good news for those who have to head back to work. This kind of cushions the blow. 24, though, is still pretty darn nice. Mix of sun and cloud. A low chance of showers, about 40% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast. And then we deal with below seasonal temperatures into Tuesday before we pick up mid-next week under plenty of sunshine.
A controversial development adjacent to Granite Curling Club can go ahead as planned after variance appeals were rejected Thursday. The appeal hearing was launched by well-known local developer John Winthrop.
There seems to be a lack of information, even when it's mandatory for all my clients submitting applications. I have not seen it here today. I've asked to see it. It has not been provided. And the absence of information doesn't automatically make compliance with the charter. You're going to have one set of rules, apply them equally.
As you just heard, Winthrop accuses the city of applying its own rules unequally. Several individuals spoke against the appeal, including the project's architect, who shared these artist renderings. The variance allows the proposed building to reach 126 feet instead of the typical 100 feet and provides for slightly narrower parking stalls. Executives with the curling club also spoke in support of the appeal, saying they hadn't been properly consulted. Ultimately, the appeal was rejected.
There has been precedence in height variances in similar areas adjacent to the legislature, and so I am satisfied with the slight variance in the height from 100 to 126, and it is a minimum modification in this particular area.
The proposed Granite Riverside Commons development plans to build a 12-story, 110-unit mixed-use building. Rifles, ammunition, and a significant amount of drugs have been seized after RCMP searched a home in East Winnipeg. The force says officers carried out a search warrant Tuesday evening at a home on Goodfellow Way. That's in Transcona, not far from the intersection of Lachemodier Boulevard and Regent Avenue. Police allegedly found a loaded semi-automatic rifle, a semi-automatic shotgun, ammo, 408 grams of cocaine, and roughly $150,000 in cash. This all happened after a 37-year-old man was arrested earlier in the day as part of a drug trafficking investigation. He's now facing 11 firearms charges along with possession for the purpose of trafficking. A Manitoba mom wants help keeping tabs on her son who lives with autism because he's a flight risk. Shailene Chartrand is speaking out after a missing 11-year-old Calgary boy was found dead this week. Chartrand says the tragedy hit close to home because her 10-year-old son has also gone missing before. CTV's Jeff Keel explains.
Like any mom, Shailene Chartrand keeps a close eye on her 10-year-old son at the playground, but she has to be more diligent than most.
He just doesn't have a sense of danger.
When he was 2, Brixton was diagnosed with autism.
He wasn't really hitting his milestones appropriately. He was walking on his toes. He was flapping his hands a lot. He also wasn't really trying to talk or communicate as much.
And Chartrand says Brixton likes to run. She says in a split second, he could be out the door and gone if one of these specialized locks is not secured. He has gone missing before, one time for a few hours. Luckily, he was found safe and sound.
Could die. He could get hit by a car. He could drown. It's a big fear. He could get taken because he doesn't understand.
She wants to get set up with a tracking device for Brixton, like this bracelet from the nonprofit organization Project Lifesaver Manitoba. The bracelet emits a signal that can be tracked on the ground for 1.5 kilometers and in the air for several kilometers. Chartrand says the cost is out of reach for her right now. She'd like the province to provide funding for families like hers.
I don't think parents should have to choose between that, like, their financial stability and keeping their child safe.
In a statement, Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine says they will continue working with families to improve accessibility and ensure children who need additional support can live as safely and independently as possible. I understand this family has reached out to my office, and we have reached out to them and to their case manager to learn more about their situation and better understand how we can support them. Chartrand is speaking out now because of a tragedy in Calgary where the body of a missing 11-year-old boy with autism was found.
Within a drop of a dime, it could just be your family.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Project Lifesaver costs $600 to join, plus a $20 monthly fee. However, its website says the fee could be reduced through sponsorships. These tracking devices can also be used by families who have loved ones living with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Down syndrome. Some images from England to show you. Rubber ducks took over the waters in London as part of a fundraising event. Thousands of these rubber ducks were launched onto Regent's Canal, the waterway that runs through the middle of London. Participants sponsored these ducks with funds going to Cosmic, a UK-based charity that supports babies and children in intensive care. Let's take a look at the traffic. Starting to pick up there on McPhillips. You can text those traffic tips to us at 10400. And taking a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg, the average is $1.79, a jump in the price compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city, $1.55. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Ainsley McPhail's at Thrive Community supports new digs in the West End. We'll get a look inside coming up.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
It's a much milder start to the day on this Friday, setting the stage for a still lovely, very hot weekend, but nowhere near as oppressive as some of the temperatures we were seeing earlier this week. That is very good news to me. 13 degrees currently, a couple clouds here or there, but for the most part, pretty clear and sunny. Winds out of the west-northwest at 8 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity at 97%. So a lot of the province has a low-lying chance of rain and thunderstorms. It's kind of making an upside-down L shape over our province. So that means all of the north, that low chance, and down through the southwest, Brandon, Niboa, Dauphin, Swan River. Again, more likely you're going to be staying dry under a mix of sun and cloud. That cloud more coming into the afternoon after these lovely clear skies kick us off. Temperatures in the south peaking in the upper 20s. For us here in Winnipeg, that's 28. Winds will be decently strong out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures are a few degrees cooler to the north, but still very warm in the mid-20s. Meanwhile, while you will be dealing with a mix of sun and cloud, we do know still smoke continues to be an issue with those ongoing wildfires. You don't have any air quality warnings in effect in your area right now, but look, as the winds change, that could change throughout the weekend. For us here, plenty more sunshine on the way for the rest of the August long weekends, and temperatures heating up even further. We're going to head on over to visit Ainsley McPhail, who's spending the morning at Thrive. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. It's their brand new building on Spence Street. You've done somewhat of a soft launch, I was explaining. Anna Ziprick is our next guest. Thank you so much for inviting us here. A little bit of an early invite. Yeah. What's going on and how did it all happen?
Well, we did our soft opening in May, and our official opening is September 24th. So this is Thrive Community Support Circle, a brand new purpose-built community hub in the West End. We used to be a little old building that got torn down. We had some very devoted, humble donors that came and helped us build this $4.5 million building. We're on time, on budget. So we're a brand new family resource center in the West End. We do all kinds of programs. We have this, right now we're in the Connection Hub where people come and have coffee and connect with their neighbors in the morning, and then we do structured programs in the afternoon. So everything from parenting programs, prenatal, anger management. We have a men's group. We've got some other programs that you're going to learn about when you meet the other staff here.
And families, the heart of our communities. Tell us about what you're doing to keep families together and stronger.
The organization was founded over 50 years ago by an obstetrician who knew that saw a need to support young mothers, and to do that you need healthy communities. So it's all about community-based supports. We've got family liaisons on staff that help reunite families that have been separated through CFS. We do a lot of intentional case management with families to help them stay together and get through a crisis before it ends up a hospital situation or a police situation or a CFS situation. So just spending time with families to keep them strong.
And sometimes it is about a new shirt or a new pair of mitts. What else can people attain?
They can come here, have a cup of coffee and a bite to eat, and we'll do programs even just like beading or community cleanups, just so that people can hang out and spend time together. You can come and make an appointment on Monday to get some baby supplies or food, clothing at our free market on Wednesdays.
What was the date again? September
24th.
Okay, September 24th. That is the grand opening. We'll see you after the break.
A look at the early markets. The Dow Jones climbed 343 points and the Nasdaq 335 points. The S&P index had small gains. The Canadian dollar is lower, set to 71.35 cents US. Overseas, the Hang Seng is flat. The Nikkei boosted 2,494 points. A widespread mosquito spraying campaign is being launched swiftly as West Nile concerns ramp up. Provincial data collected last week shows high numbers of adult bugs with West Nile virus. The province says the recent heat wave in southern Manitoba is speeding up the pest's growth, increasing the risk of a human infection. So it's spraying in Winnipeg starting this evening, weather permitting, at 9:30 p.m. According to a City of Winnipeg news release, per the provincial order, buffer zones are not in effect within city limits during this fogging program. Exact date and times for rural spraying will be posted on the provinces and rural municipalities' websites. Areas impacted include a 3-kilometer perimeter around Carman, Stonewall, West St. Paul, Winkler, and Winnipeg. However, only parts of Manitoba's capital will be sprayed with Delta Guard, Kenniston and North Town Road, King Edward and Old Commonwealth Path, and the North Perimeter at Highway 8. Nurses working in the emergency department at Bethesda Regional Health Center in Steinbach are demanding action to address patient safety. The Manitoba Nurses Union says currently there's only one triage nurse working at a time in the regional health center. This means the lone nurse can be sometimes responsible for up to as many as 30 patients. The union says it creates conditions where some patients wait more than an hour to be triaged and more than 8 hours to be reassessed. It wants the province to add a second full-time triage nurse to the ward.
Every nurse is terrified that they're going to have a death on their shift that shouldn't have happened. So these nurses have been asking for help for a very long time and have now put it in writing to the Premier and the Minister of Health and to the senior management at Southern Health.
In a statement, Health Minister Uzoma Asaguaras writes in part, in response to the concerns raised by nurses at Bethesda, we've been working with Southern Health to assess the region's staffing needs and will be working collaboratively with them and staff to explore all possible options to address the challenges raised, including adding a second triage nurse to help improve patient flow, support frontline staff, and strengthen patient safety in the emergency department. With Folklorama starting Sunday, one pavilion finds itself suddenly in a bind after thieves made off with cultural attire for performances. You're looking at dancers, food, and exhibits from previous editions of the Ghana Pavilion. Organizers of the pavilion this year say 3 bins containing costumes for the Ghana Union of Manitoba Dancers were recently stolen from a vehicle trunk. A post on Facebook says the pavilion urgently needs donations of West African print fabric, volunteer seamstresses or tailors who can help sew cultural attire, and 20 Ghana jerseys in children's sizes, medium and large, or adult small. Monetary donations are also being solicited to help cover fabric and material costs. If you can help them out, you're asked to call the number on your screen. It's 204-997-4864 or send an email to the address listed. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers hosted the BC Lions Thursday night. The Bombers looking to bounce back from a lopsided loss to Calgary last Friday. Winnipeg managed to score just 3 field goals up until this play with no time left in the third quarter, with the Lions ahead 10-9. Drew Brown lobbed a pass to receiver Tim White in the end zone. Then with 6:22 left in the fourth, kicker Sergio Castillo kicked his fourth of the ninth from the BC 41, and the Bombers led 19-13. But that was it for scoring by the Blue and Gold, but it would not be enough for victory on this night. BC scored a touchdown to take the lead, and they didn't look back. In the last 5 minutes, the Lions notched 22 points to take this one, 35-19 over Winnipeg. The Bombers on a bye next week and return to action August 14th, hosting Ottawa. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Provencher Boulevard. The westbound curb lane will be closed from Allno to Joseph Street. On York Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Gary and Main Street. And on McPhillips, the northbound curb lane will be closed from Notre Dame to McDermott Avenue.
Casting our eye to the sky, it's clear and sunny to kick us off on this Friday, setting the tone for just a beautiful August-long weekend. 13 degrees out there, so not as sweltering as has been the case the last couple of days. Winds are light out of the west-northwest, pressure rising, humidity at 97%. Lots of sunshine to kick us off, and that's going to be the case, as mentioned, for the weekend to come. As such, not a lot to show you on our radar. It's pretty darn quiet out there. We're mostly all starting with those clear skies and then clouds building into the afternoon. However, there is this low chance of rainfall and thunderstorm activity through much of the province, the northeast included. About a 30% chance, but for the most part, it's more likely it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud. Highs there in the low to mid 20s, and those northerly winds decent at 20 kilometers per hour. The same as we go to the northwest, temperatures on par and that low chance of instability, maybe rain, maybe thunderstorms. More likely, though, sun to kick you off, clouds into the afternoon. And then I'm going to sound like a broken record. I mentioned it's for most of the province that has this low chance, but a chance nonetheless in Brandon and Neepawa. Temperatures very warm there at 27 degrees, even a couple degrees cooler in Dauphin and Swan River at 26. For us here in Winnipeg, a high of 28. Much of the Red River Valley will kick off clear, maybe some haze out there depending on where you're at. And then those clouds will build up into the afternoon, as will those northerly winds at 20 kilometers per hour at their height. And then those highs again above seasonal. 26 is what's typical for us in Winnipeg. Northwestern Ontario, lovely, similar to what we're seeing here. In fact, clearer skies in Kenora, a bit cloudier the further east you go. Temperatures there in the upper 20s. Overnight, skies stay partly cloudy for us here in Winnipeg. Temperatures dip down to 17. Those northerly winds persist at 20 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, if you like what we got today, you're going to love tomorrow as well. 28 degrees, and then Sunday even hotter at 30.
Well, let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning and happy almost long weekend.
Yeah. Dan, did you have to show those Bomber highlights? Because really, I was feeling happy until then.
Bo, I did not watch the game last night. I went to bed because I knew I'd stay up and watch it, and I thought I'd watch some highlights this morning. There were none, only lowlights. So bye week, hopefully they get some rest.
Yeah. You know me, I'm the biggest Bomber fan, but right now they're terrible, and not only that, they're boring, which is the worst part of all. But anyway, it is a happy Friday. We did not go to the game last night because we were at one of our backyard barbecue parties. We call it Bouncing Into Your Backyard, and we were at the O'Hara's place in St. Vital, close enough to actually hear what was going on at Princess Auto Stadium. And both Tamara and her husband, Jim, we had a wonderful time there with all great food and great people, including somebody who's celebrating a birthday today and is watching right now. Her name is Cassidy. She's 23 years old today. I've got clothes at least that old. Yes.
So, happy birthday, Cassidy.
We're going to do one more of these barbecues in August, so get to the Bounce website, make sure you enter.
Now we want to talk about TV. I mean, you are on TV, of course, Danny, every day. But we're talking binging shows or watching movies. Because I had this moment with my husband. I forced him to watch this movie I love, Mystic River. Great movie, just a side note. Sean Penn in that movie. Is my daughter in there? Anyway, the point is that Justin fell asleep And I was like, no, you have to watch the end of this movie. The next morning, I made him watch the rest of it, because if you fall asleep in a movie I really care about, I'm going to make you watch the end. Do you have any, I guess, pet peeves when binging shows with people, Dan?
Morgan and I, right now we're watching Cape Fear on Apple TV, the new Javier Bardem, Amy Adams series, super good. Now, we're pretty good during, like, we'll watch an episode or two, but then she needs to have a nap, you know, an hour before we go to bed. And so it kind of kills that binging momentum sometimes, but at least it's not in the middle of an episode or at the end of a movie.
I can never decide what to watch, so I don't have that problem at all.
Have a great long weekend, folks. We'll talk to you soon. You don't have to go far from home to have a great adventure. A group of seniors searching for a sweet treat ended up finding something even better. Here's CTV's Adam Sawatsky.
We find our heroes, these octogenarians and their caregivers, in the midst of a quest.
We're going for a walk in the wind to look for blackberries.
Their journey, stretching more than one whole back alley block, features resilient gardens and is fueled by fun.
And we come here to have fun and be silly.
Sue says that means telling the sorts of bad jokes that always make this bunch feel better.
Lots of laughter. Yeah.
Lots of bouquet building, too, until, like all great adventures, our explorers face an unexpected detour.
One of the trees over here is a wish tree.
While Aria directs them to a tree blooming with others' wishes, our heroes are inspired to reflect on their own.
I wish.
Lee, along with Vic and David, wish to ease what physically ails them and to have more days ahead of them than behind. But they also wish for you to realize, far sooner than they did, what life is really all about.
I think to make the most that you can of every moment.
And make sure that as many of those moments as you can are spent with the ones you love the most.
And to be kind as often as you can.
And when life doesn't unfold the way you'd hoped, like when your quest for blackberries leads to only unripened red ones,
be cheerful and happy, because there's no point in being otherwise.
And seeing as they've traveled so far, why not summon the courage to bite into one of those berries anyway?
How's it doing?
How is it?
Very sour. Really, really sour.
Crunchy.
A feeling that ends up being far sweeter than the alternative.
It made us all giggle.
Made us laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what life is about.
And that's how, after turning a seemingly fruitless quest into a fruitful one, our heroes embark back home victorious. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Went out there on Notre Dame Avenue. We're taking a break, but we'll be right back with more CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg. It's Friday, July 31st. Today, storm followed. How fierce winds left homes damaged, trees uprooted, and thousands without power. Plus, a WestJet warning how a potential strike could disrupt flights before the weekend even begins. And hockey homecoming. Brand gets ready to welcome Canada's top young stars for the 2027 TELUS Cup. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow, getting you set up for the long weekend today. It's so close, Catherine.
We can taste it. We can feel it.
Ainsley's in the West End this morning. She's learning about Thrive Community Sports. She's getting a tour of their brand new building and learning about some of the stuff they do there. At 7:52, we're going to talk to Black History Manitoba. Tomorrow is Emancipation Day here in Manitoba. They have a special event happening at the Human Rights Museum. We're going to have details of that. But with the long weekend, the weather's on everyone's mind. You got some good news for folks this morning?
I feel like I will be popular today because on the May long weekend, different story. We know Mother Nature doesn't tend to favor us on those occasions, but August long weekend, she is smiling upon us for sure. As you can see, it's just a lovely start to the day. It's 13 degrees out there, lots of sunshine, clear, crystal clear. Winds are light out of the west-northwest. The barometric pressure is on the rise. Humidity sitting at 97%. Not a lot to show you on our our radar because there's not a lot of cloud coverage to kick us off. Anything that is not picking up, however, is that lingering smoke in the north due to those ongoing wildfires. While air quality warnings have been lifted, look for them to potentially be reintroduced. Sorry, I have the wrong clicker here. There we go. Reintroduced into the weekend as those winds shift. As the day progresses, you start to see a little bit more cloud build up here in southern Manitoba, getting more like a mix of sun and cloud. And then we're going to keep an eye on this system here, bringing a low chance, but a chance nonetheless of rain and thunderstorms all throughout northern Manitoba and into the south, not only today, but overnight. Likely, though, you're just going to stay dry, maybe partly cloudy skies overnight and into Saturday. And from there, a mix of sun and cloud, lots of sunshine above seasonal highs throughout the province. We are still, though, watching this system closely, bringing a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms to northern Manitoba on Sunday. The rain will be great for those wildfires, the thunderstorms not so much. In terms of our heat, I mentioned above seasonal, 28 degrees. We're losing, though, that extreme humidex that made it feel more like 40 degrees at times this week. I'm not going to miss it. I don't know about you, but that doesn't mean we don't have hot highs still in our forecast. 28 into Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud. Sunday looks to be the hot day on 30. And then by Monday, we're taking a little bit of a dip with a 40% chance of rain. 6-year-old Emmy, drew this wonderful photo of the birds and the beautiful flowers. Thanks so much for sending that in, and keep your weather art of the day coming. To submit, you can just head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
It's been a stormy summer in Manitoba, and the one that swept across Winnipeg Wednesday night was just the latest hit. We're seeing everything from a tree toppling into a Charleswood living room to thousands of people without power. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows us the aftermath.
And all of a sudden, it just shot through the roof.
Charleswood resident Gunnar Friedrich and his wife were sitting in their living room late Wednesday night, watching a fast-moving storm. Friedrich says he stepped outside and saw a large branch from an ancient poplar tree in the front yard. Seconds later, adrenaline and sheer instinct kicked in.
And all of a sudden, we saw this massive tree just kind of like flapping up like this, like right out of the ground. And we were like, we have to get everything into another room. And then as soon as we did, that tree came right through our living room.
Friedrich's neighbor was shocked to see the aftermath Thursday. Extreme winds forced the tree's roots right out of the ground.
I've never seen a tree, being pulled out like this in my whole life. It's really scary.
In fact, those wind speeds on Wednesday exceeded 100 kilometers an hour, according to Environment and Climate Change Canada.
I would say probably in excess of 110 to 120 kilometers an hour over the city of Winnipeg. It's just been a trend towards a year with more rain and more wind and more severe weather.
And Proctor says the trend in weather patterns this year suggests there could be more storms to come as we approach the halfway point of summer. The damage from Wednesday's storm was not contained to Charleswood. This is what's left of the announcer's booth for football games in Maple Grove Park. And in Silver Heights, crews were hard at work restoring the downed farmers market at Food Fair.
We have to have this quick turnaround because we commit to these farmers for the season, right? Like, we need to make sure we can move their vegetables because this is their livelihood.
Meantime, Friedrich is hopeful insurance and city crews can help get their home back in order.
I just want to be able to move back in. Like, I know that there's a massive hole and everything, but I want to get the tree off my house, ideally.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
As of 10 p.m. Thursday night, a Manitoba Hydro post on X indicated the damage is some of the worst ever seen by the utility for a summer storm, and as many as 14,000 customers were still without power. Turning now to an attack during a prayer service here in Winnipeg. Apparent bullet holes and smashed windows are being probed by Winnipeg hate crime investigators. Late Wednesday night, people were praying inside Rama Islamic Center in the Munro West neighborhood when the violence began. Winnipeg police say they were called around 11:30 p.m. about a possible shooting at the Watt Street Mosque. Police say gunfire came from inside a vehicle, then people got out with weapons and struck the building with the objects. No one was physically injured, but it's left the community shaken.
We are and have been always faithful, peaceful contributors to our community, our neighbors, and our city. Our neighbors have demonstrated the same last night when they came out and support us with the law enforcement.
Of note, police say earlier that same day a different violent incident was reported, saying a vehicle drove by the mosque with people inside yelling slurs at the folks gathered outside. Police say they're stepping up patrols around this and other mosques in the area. Anyone with information or video footage is asked to contact investigators. No suspects have been identified yet. WestJet could start grounding flights as early as today ahead of Sunday's strike deadline.
Like right in the middle of the potential strike.
The two sides are still talking in hopes of avoiding a strike that could start Sunday morning. But if there isn't enough progress, WestJet could start canceling flights ahead of the deadline to make sure no planes or crews are stranded. If you have a flight booked today or tomorrow, you have a choice. You can fly and risk getting stuck, or you have until August 4th to make a one-time change or cancellation without paying a fee. Air passengers' right advocate Gabor Lukic says it's a better idea right now to wait.
And not accepting a refund and not letting WestJet push a refund on you.
If WestJet cancels a flight, the airline would be on the hook for rebooking a customer or give a refund. If a strike does happen, about 75,000 passengers a day could be impacted. The city of Winnipeg wants a new community garden to spring up on the old exhibition grounds. The city has put out a request for proposals to transform the location into a space where fruits and vegetables can be grown. It will be located near the intersection of Sinclair Street and Dufferin Avenue. Whoever gets the contract will have to protect existing infrastructure, such as play equipment, trees, and light poles. At the same time, they'll supply and install planter boxes, new water service connections, and a new fountain. The city plans to spend $675,000 on the project and wants it completed by July of next year. Taking a look at St. Mary's Road there, pretty smooth drive so far. You can pass those traffic tips to us at 10400.
Alimentation Couche-Tard has agreed to buy Polish retailer Zabka Group for about $8.7 billion, expanding the Canadian Circle K owner's European footprint with its biggest ever acquisition. The deal marks a renewed focus on the region for Couche-Tard, whose efforts to buy grocery chain Carrefour SA was blocked by French regulators in 2021. More recently, it tried to acquire top rival 7&I Holdings, the Japanese owner of the 7-Eleven chain, but that was not successful. Amazon gained as much as 11% in pre-market trading on Friday after the e-commerce and cloud computing company reported second quarter results that beat expectations on key metrics, including revenue at its Amazon Web Services business. Analysts are positive about AWS's acceleration and backlog. Apple, meanwhile, tumbled in late trading after component shortages weighed on the company's sales forecast, signaling that industry-wide supply constraints are taking a bigger toll than anticipated. Revenue will rise 9 to 11% in the fiscal fourth quarter. Analysts had predicted more than 12. And Microsoft's blowout report Wednesday led to a massive 2.8% surge on the Nasdaq on Thursday. That carried into the Asian markets. The South Korean Kospi surged 17% overnight. SK Hynix hit its 30% daily limit. Samsung was up 27%. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning in the West End. She's at Thrive Community Support. Good morning, Ainsley. How you doing?
Good morning. Yes, we've been invited after the soft launch, the official launch September 24th, to allow people to see the new space, a campaign of $4.5 million. As we know, food bank use is on the rise, an all-time high in Canada, and many of those individuals, women and children. Thrive helps women who have experienced gender-based violence, and we're standing in the community kitchen right now, which allows them to take the food that they get from that food bank and make it into meals that can go a long way. Those educational pieces, oh so important, especially when it comes to prenatal, when it comes to even just having a cup of coffee or taking part in their weekly bingo. This is bringing families together and giving them the help and the resources that they need. More coming up in the 7 o'clock hour.
Thank you, Ainsley. And up on the rooftop, Catherine Dow. Now, the last couple of days, that humidity has been something for you up there. It's a little cooler today.
Yeah, you can usually see me melting, shinier than normal, even though I'm normally shiny. Today, while it's sunny and lovely, as you can see, with that beautiful bask of glow on me right now. It isn't in the same kind of realm, if you will, with that humidex. It's currently 15 degrees, but again, by this time yesterday, the day before, it was feeling upper 20s with the humidex, even at some points 30s. Sunny, clear, lovely. Winds have shifted out of the west, still light at 7 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sits at 92%. So we've got a low-lying chance of showers once again, and maybe some thunderstorm activity through most of the province, although Winnipeg and the Red River Valley are the exception. So much of the north has this chance, as does southwestern Manitoba. I'm like making this L on the province on the map in my mind. So in and around Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin, into the Paw, Thompson even. 30% chance of that activity. Likely, though, you're going to be like us in Winnipeg. Start off clear, clouds building into the afternoon. Highs for us in the south, peaking in the upper 20s, couple degrees lower in the north, in the mid to low 20s. Winds will be decently strong throughout the day, peaking at 20 kilometers per hour out of the north. Overnight, skies remain partly clear, and tomorrow another beautiful day. 28 degrees in Winnipeg with that mix of sun and cloud.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for our question of the day. We want to know, what do you have planned for the long weekend? You can text your answers to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Notre Dame, sunny out there to start the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. We're learning more about a Canadian woman currently behind bars accused of spying on NATO.
The payoff for that operation is 15 years from now, when that individual is the director or director general or higher.
Claire Biwei Zhang was vetted by CSIS and cleared by Global Affairs before taking a NATO internship. Experts say she was caught before she could do greater damage. CTV News was able to determine her identity using open data sources and court documents. Reuters had reported her name was Claire Zed, which matches the name of a former StatsCan employee identified in a federal court document. An account linked to Zhang shows she was looking for an apartment in Belgium a year ago when she was starting an internship at Shape NATO. Her LinkedIn profile also says she's done work for the World Trade Organization, the CSA, and the ESA. Before starting at NATO, her security clearance was approved by the Government of Canada after vetting by CSIS. It's still not clear who the third nation she was allegedly spying on behalf of is. A longtime downtown business is closing its doors. Signs posted at the Giant Tiger at Donald and Ellis say it's closing November 7th. This isn't the first location the discount retailer has shuttered in Winnipeg in recent years. It closed a location on Main Street and another on McPhillips back in 2024. At the time, officials told CTV News while theft and violence were affecting its Winnipeg stores, they were not a factor in the decision to close. We reached out to Giant Tiger to ask why they decided to close this latest location. We're still waiting for a reply. Hockey Canada's National Under-18 Men's Club Championship is coming to the Wheat City next year. The Keystone Centre has announced it's been selected as the host for the 2027 TELUS Cup.
And Hugh and Gardner out still scored!
You're looking at this year's bronze medal match, which went to the Regina Pat Canadians. The event brings together 6 teams from across Canada to compete for the national title. Organizers in Brandon celebrated the decision, saying it will highlight not only Manitoba's passion for hockey, but also generate a significant amount of economic activity. The championship at the 4,600-seat arena, which is also home to the Brandon Wheat Kings, will run April 19th to the 25th. Taking a look at the current traffic situation on Donald, starting to pick up out there. If you have any tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
It's been a disappointing week for fans of ballet in the park. Last night, for the third night in a row, it was canceled. The Royal Winnipeg Ballet says it's because of both the high heat and damage to the site from Wednesday's storm. All 3 scheduled performances at the Lyric Theatre this week were canceled due to the temperatures, but you won't have to wait too long to see the dancers in action. RWB Revealed is scheduled to take over True North Square between August 19th and the 21st. The event offers you the chance to watch training and rehearsals for free between 9:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. Winnipeg Comic-Con has a real treat for fans of a cult science fiction classic. They're bringing in 4 stars from the movie Starship Troopers.
Hey, kid, what's going on? War! We're going to war!
Casper Van Dien, Dina Meyer, Michael Ironside, and Jake Busey will all be coming to Winnipeg for this year's Comic-Con. The 4 all starred in the 1997 movie directed by Paul Verhoeven, who also directed RoboCop. In the nearly 30 years since it came out, Starship Troopers has won over a huge number of fans who now view it as a brilliant satire on fascism. The cast members will be signing autographs and taking pictures on Saturday, October 31st, and on Sunday, November 1st. Ted Lasso Season 4 starts streaming next week, and we're getting a first look with this new trailer.
Oi, welcome back. It's good to see you. You too.
The new season picks up with Ted facing a new challenge, coaching a second division women's soccer team. The 10-episode season premieres on August 5th, with episodes dropping weekly. Here's your Friday primetime lineup. At 7, catch a gripping true crime series, Spring Break Murders. Crime Scene Investigators is next at 8, and The Rebuild Inside the Montreal Canadiens wraps up at 9.
Caught me playing with my hair there, Daniel. I can't even pretend.
It's all good. I'm looking forward to Ted Lasso. I saw that last night. So excited.
You know, I've kind of soured on Ted Lasso. Director Kim just cut away angrily. You know what? I like Ted Lasso. I don't want to be a Grinch about it. We all need a little optimism right now, and it was very good at that. The sun is definitely perking up my spirits, making me pretty optimistic for the weekend. It's clear as we look through the Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Yes, so much sunshine on the way, but temperatures not as sweltering as we've been seeing in the last number of days. I've been so happy for that. Being up on the rooftop, sweating at 6 in the morning, it was not what I had in mind for my future, but yes, that's what we were dealing with this week, because there weren't even those early morning hours to get out and enjoy a less oppressive day. Right now, though, that's what we're getting. 15 degrees over in Portage, 17, 13 in Brandon, up in Dauphin, 14 degrees this hour. Similar values, if not a touch cooler in the north, particularly in Thompson, where it's only 9 degrees. Churchill at 14, The Paw at 12 degrees. We still do have the Humidex, making it feel a few degrees warmer than that, but nothing like we saw yesterday. It was feeling closer to 30 degrees by about 7 a.m. yesterday. Again, sticky and awful. Not the case today. That Humidex not going to be as extreme. Not a lot to show you on our radar, as you can see. Crystal clear and lovely. So many of us starting off with clear sunny skies. From there, we will see the clouds start to build into the afternoon. We stall out at around 27 into the afternoon hour. We are technically going to be getting up to a high of 28 degrees. 26 is what's seasonal. Winds will be strong out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. They last overnight as well. Temperatures dipping down to 17 under those partly cloudy skies. Saturday is a bit of a carbon copy of what we're seeing today. A high of 28 with a mix of sun and cloud, but getting even hotter into Sunday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, wow, just a sea of sunflowers snapped just outside Emerson. Thanks to Lyle for grabbing the camera, taking that photo. And if you've got any to share, weather photos that is, do email us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
July 31st, 1928. The sound of a roaring lion was heard for the first time at the beginning of MGM's first talking picture, White Shadows in the South Seas. The roar was a carefully constructed sound effect in which multiple lion vocalizations were blended to create the signature roar. July 31st, 1955. 17-year-old Marilyn Bell of Toronto became the youngest person at the time to swim the English Channel. Bell was already a household name in Canada for her much-covered swim across Lake Ontario at the age of 16, almost a year before the English Channel swim. Her swim from France to England took 14 hours and 38 minutes.
July 31st, 2023. It was announced that actor and comedian Paul Reubens, who starred as Pee Wee Herman on TV and in movies, had died after a 6-year battle with cancer. His groundbreaking CBS Saturday morning children's show, Pee Wee's Playhouse, was a critical success, winning 15 Emmy Awards. It developed a substantial cult following among adults.
Alberta has its share of natural wonders. 6 of them are so important that they are designated UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Canada marked the program's 50th year with a ceremony in southern Alberta this week. Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1981. The status offers protection and global recognition. It had been used by various Indigenous groups for thousands of years before European contact. It's one of the world's oldest, largest, and best preserved buffalo jumps, and it's much more than a tourist site.
It gives us opportunity to share our way of life, but not only share, to retain it. Our young people who work here, they learn the stories, they gain a sense of identity, a sense of pride, and they share those stories with folks from around the world.
Canada is home to 22 UNESCO heritage sites. It's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Watermelon. This beautiful girl is just as charming as she looks. She'd thrive in a calm, patient home where she can gradually build trust and reveal her unique personality. Next up is Dolly Parton. What a great name for this sweet dog. She's a loyal girl who will always give you her heart. She can be energetic and sometimes gets excitable on her walks, but her happiness is contagious and she's sure to brighten your days. And meet Teo. He is a happy, curious young cat who's always ready to explore and discover something new. With a playful spirit and a friendly personality, he loves investigating his surroundings and spending time with people. If you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number's on your screen. Ainsley McPhail's at Thrive Community Support this morning in the West End, learning about how this organization helps families. Details after the break. CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning in the West End. She's checking out a new community hub helping families in the neighborhood. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, the organization itself is over 50 years old, but you're right. It's a new space to be able to enjoy and help families in the West End access them. Alongside Anna, thank you once again for inviting us here for the semi-soft launch, which happened in May. But tell us about where we are right now.
Right now we're standing in our new community kitchen. Again, everything in here was donated or built with donations from a bunch of amazing donors. So this is an example of trauma-informed design. So it is kind of a commercial kitchen, but it looks like a homey kitchen. So we'll do programs in here, whether that's teaching people what to make with the food that they get from the market, or taking whatever excess we have to make a big pot of stew for people that are having programs here. Doing some classes, doing some fun stuff with kids, whether cupcake making or just programs that make people feel like they're home and part of a community.
Mm-hmm. And keeping our families strong is just so significant in thriving communities. How important is that food piece to it all?
Well, everybody knows how expensive groceries are right now, so food and nutrition it's really tough in some of these core neighborhoods, especially ones that are losing grocery stores or, need to stretch their very, finite dollars. So that's what this place is all about, showing people how to do that, making sure they can get a warm, nourishing meal, and that they can spend time together, like you spend time in your kitchen with your friends and family, just enjoying each other's company and talking and getting to know each other. It's just that kind of environment that we've created.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing some ads, some additions to the kitchen as well. You're hoping to expand.
Yeah, so the construction's done, we've built everything, but we've got a matching campaign on to kind of finish the building off. So that means bringing it to life with furnishings, with kitchen equipment, with dishes, with all the things that you need to make your kitchen homey.
Thank you so much. And if you want to donate, she said it's matching. Come on, it's a win-win. September 24th is when they're inviting community to come in for that grand opening.
Thanks, Ainsley. Turning to Catherine on weather, the long weekend is basically here. A lot of people heading out to the cabin. How's the weather shaping up?
It's going to be lovely. Not as oppressively hot as we were seeing, but still above seasonal and sunny. Basically everything you could ask for an August long weekend. 15 degrees out there, crystal clear, lots of sunshine to kick us off, setting the stage for just a lovely weekend ahead. Winds out of the west, light at 7 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 92%. Not a lot to show you on our radar because there's not a lot of cloud activity out there. You will start to see it build throughout the afternoon through most of the province. That'll be the case for us here in Winnipeg. 28 degrees, again, starting off on that clearing note, clouds building into the afternoons. Winds ramping up out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. From there, temperatures dip down to 17 degrees. I should also note the humidex that's been so punishing the last couple of days is really letting up its grip. So while our high today is 28, it's not going to feel more like 40 degrees at times. So that's the good news. Winds overnight out of the north again at 20 kilometers per hour. Skies stay partly cloudy. Tomorrow is basically picture perfect as well, a carbon copy of what we're seeing today. 28 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Slightly lighter winds out of the north at 15 kilometers per hour. Sunday, things really heat up. 30 degrees is likely, sunny, clear skies. We do get a bit of a cool down into Monday. 24 degrees for those wanting a bit of a rest. There you get it. And that low chance of showers as well, about 40% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast. Into Tuesday, we dip down even cooler, but you can see by midweek we're already picking up again with our temperatures alongside plenty of sunshine.
A controversial development adjacent to Granite Curling Club can go ahead as planned after variance appeals were rejected Thursday. The appeal hearing was launched by well-known local developer John Winthrop.
There seems to be a lack of information, even when it's mandatory for all my clients to be submitting applications. I have not seen it here today. I've asked to see it. It has not been provided. In the absence of information, doesn't automatically make compliance with the charter. You're going to have one set of rules, apply them equally.
As you just heard, Winthrop accuses the city of applying its own rules unequally. Several individuals spoke against the appeal, including the project's architect, who shared these artist renderings. The variance allows the proposed building to reach 126 feet instead of the typical 100 feet and provides for slightly narrower parking stalls. Executives with the curling club also spoke in support of the appeal, saying they hadn't been properly consulted. Ultimately, the appeal was rejected.
There has been precedence in height variances in similar areas adjacent to the legislature, and so I am satisfied with the slight variance in the height from 100 to 126, and it is a minimum modification in this particular area.
The proposed Granite Riverside Commons development plans to build a 12-story, 110-unit mixed-use building. A Manitoba mom wants help keeping tabs on her son who lives with autism because he's a flight risk. She's speaking out after a missing 11-year-old Calgary boy was found dead this week.
He wasn't really hitting his milestones appropriately. He was walking on his toes. He was flapping his hands a lot. He also wasn't really trying to talk or communicate as much.
When he was 2, Brixton Chartrand was diagnosed with autism. Shailene Chartrand says Brixton is a flight risk. She wants to get her son set up with a tracking device like this bracelet from the nonprofit organization Project Lifesaver of Manitoba. Anyone wearing the bracelet can be tracked on the ground for 1.5 kilometers and in the air for several kilometers. Chartrand says the cost is out of reach for her. She'd like the province to provide funding for families like hers.
I don't think parents should have to choose between that, like their financial stability and keeping their child safe.
In a statement, Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine says, quote, "I understand this family has reached out to my office and we've reached out to them and to their case manager to learn more about their situation and better understand how we can support them. Project Lifesaver costs $600 to join plus a $20 monthly fee. These tracking devices can also be used by families who have loved ones living with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Down syndrome." A Quebec family is going through the heartache of living apart as they wait to bring their adopted daughter home.
She took her first step without being by her side. She's speaking right now. She's saying my name, and I'm dying here. I'm dying.
Jean Abu Ganon has been seeing his daughter grow up a continent away. His wife Rula and daughter Liana have been stuck in Lebanon for 18 months. That's because the Quebec government said the adoption was not approved ahead of time. The couple went through an adoption service in Lebanon after they were told they could wait up to 20 years on Quebec's wait list. As they wait, the couple says staying in Quebec is their first choice. But if another province approves the adoption, they'll move without hesitation. Beyond crops and livestock, agritourism is big business for farmers these days.
Corn definitely brings people in, yeah. So whenever we start sweet corn, we definitely notice more traffic coming through. People are very excited for it.
In Simcoe County, north of Toronto, a recent study found 7 large businesses in the area accounted for more than 1.2 million daily visits over a 2-year period. Province-wide, the sector accounts for nearly 10,000 jobs and a $640 million economic output. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Provencher Boulevard. The westbound curb lane will be closed from Allno to Joseph Street. On York Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed between Gary and Main Street, and on Phillips, the northbound curb lane will be closed from Notre Dame to McDermott Avenue. And taking a look at your gas prices here in Winnipeg, the average is $1.79. That's a jump compared to yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.55. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
It's sunny and 15 degrees outside in Winnipeg right now. More news and weather next on CTV, Your Morning Winnipeg.
Just a gorgeous start to your Friday and to your August long weekend. 15 degrees out there in downtown Winnipeg. Crystal clear as mentioned, lots of sunshine, winds out of the west, pretty light at 7 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity at 92%. Clear start to the day all throughout Manitoba. As you can see, not a lot to show you on our radar, as yes, we're going to be soaking up the sunshine throughout the day and all throughout Manitoba as well. There is this low chance, don't let these icons fool you, a low chance of rain and thunderstorms persisting throughout much of the province, through the north, the northeast included. Temperatures here, though, very warm. 25 for Thompson, 22 in Island Lake, 24 in Gillam, even Churchill getting up to a high of 23 degrees. If you get that rainfall and thunderstorm activity, it's likely coming into the afternoon. The same case for the northwest, where too there is a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures there a little bit more moderate than what you've been seeing. 25 degrees in Opaskwayak, Carnation, The Pond, Flin Flon, 24 in Lynn Lake. Same goes for you in Norway House. Southwestern Manitoba, also that low chance of some precipitation, maybe some thunder. Temperatures very warm at 27 in Brandon and Nipoa, a hair cooler in Dauphin and Swan River. The Red River Valley and Winnipeg, basically the only region not likely to get that rainfall or any chance of rainfall or thunderstorms, with the exception of Barons River. Highs there above seasonal throughout. 28 degrees in Winnipeg when 26 is what's typical. Winds will be strong-ish out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. Northwestern Ontario very clear. In Kenora, a little bit more cloudy. In Red Lake, Dryden and Fort Francis, temperatures there very warm, peaking in the upper 20s. For us here in Winnipeg, temperatures dipping down to 17 overnight. Skies remain partly cloudy, and then into tomorrow, much the same mix of sun and cloud with a high of 28. But by Sunday, Mother Nature is turning up the heat again at 30 degrees, but it's short-lived. We're dipping down to 24 in time for next week.
CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning at Thrive Community Support on Spence Street. You're learning about some of the services they provide there. Who are you chatting with now?
I'm with Regan right now and Thrive, live at Thrive, the brand new location. Regan, tell us a little bit about your role.
Yeah, I'm the financial empowerment worker here. So that means I help people access tax benefits, ID, as well as do financial coaching, help people with budgeting, and really anything else that I can help people out with.
That's such an important base, especially because you guys really do prioritize families here. How much of a relief is it to people when you see that they have, you know, their tax return, for instance?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know, like, from personal experience as well, but also helping people out, how difficult it can be to even just sit down, fill out an application when you have 5 kids screaming in your ear constantly. Like I've had that, have people in my office filling out some application while their kids are running around out here. And I know it's a big help for people to be able to just have that, just a bit of help and a bit of relief to get through something like that.
I know it's early, but the level of overwhelm I felt when you said 5 kids screaming in your ear as you fill out a tax form, my word. To have that financial empowerment piece too, it's a lot of things that people at home might not be thinking about, like, oh, I don't have an ID, or I don't have. What does your role allow them to do?
Yeah, absolutely, and specifically the ID piece. Like, there's often layers to accessing different like government benefits and things that we that many of us don't really realize. You know, for someone who maybe just freshly got out of jail, or someone who, you know, maybe never, you know, like their parents growing up had their ID and they never got it themselves. And so if you need the ID to access, you know, some tax benefit, or to get, you know, your driver's license or something like that, if you don't even have your birth certificate, you know, how can you build up to that? And so I can help with that really easily for free. And kind of help people reduce the barriers to accessing benefits and other financial freedom, basically.
How much of a need is there for this? I mean, it goes without saying.
A lot. Yeah, there's more and more people every day, every week. There's always people calling in. Probably the person that was in this role before me, it was almost a joke when I do the front desk, how often people call just for her. Like probably 75% of her calls would just be for financial empowerment. It's a lot, but it's definitely helpful for people.
Sorry, we're out of time. Asking obvious questions over here about affordability. Back to you.
A potential strike by Canada's second largest airline is looming. It comes as thousands of Canadians are planning to travel ahead of what is a long weekend for many. WestJet flight attendants have issued a strike notice, with a potential strike or lockout coming as early as this Sunday. And joining us now with the latest on this developing situation is CTV's Kamal Karamali. Good morning, Kamal.
Hey, good morning, Daniel.
Both WestJet and the union representing the flight attendants say they're at the negotiating table. Have there been any updates on those talks?
Yeah, as of this morning, Daniel, they still continue to be at the bargaining table, and they both sides tell media that negotiations are continuing, but they haven't really said outright whether they're getting any closer to meeting in the middle. And much of getting to this tentative agreement remains to be seen. But a key issue includes ground pay, which means compensation to flight attendants for duties like boarding passengers, safety checks, and delays. They don't at the moment get compensated for the time they spend on the ground, only while the plane is in motion. So the union earlier this week issued a 72-hour strike notice, while WestJet has responded by issuing its own 72-hour lockout notice. The airline says this is a standard legal step that gives them flexibility to manage its operations. And speaking of those operations, they did say that they're going to start winding down some of those flights, even starting today. So if you are seeing delays and cancellations, that is because they are getting ready for that 72-hour strikeout notice to begin Sunday if no tentative agreement is reached. So what should you do if you are a passenger? WestJet has been allowing passengers scheduled to travel between July 30th, that's Friday, and August 4th to change or cancel their flights without paying the usual change fees. That gives travelers a little bit of flexibility, and some WestJet flights could even begin, as I mentioned, being grounded today. So you do have that option to cancel or change and rebook your flight if you need to, as well as WestJet has said to check your flight status frequently, as changes could happen with little to no notice, Daniel. So a lot of moving parts here, but we're hoping, and I'm sure a lot of passengers hoping, they can reach an agreement by Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this update. Have a great weekend. All right, let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 10th birthday, Amelia. Love you so much from Mom, Dad, Noah, the pets, family, and friends. Happy birthday, Bentley, from Mom, Dad, and Sissy. Happy 20th birthday to Gracie. Love all your friends and family. Happy 3rd birthday, Henley. Love from Grandma Sherry, Auntie Lala, Uncle Corey, Avery, Daphne, Sage, and Ashton. Happy 71st birthday, Betty Marie, with love from your family. Happy 9th birthday, Layla. Love Mom, Dad, and Tony. Happy birthday, Bonnie. Love from Mom, Tom, Maya, Alexander, Dad, and all the animals. Happy 60th birthday, Wanda, affectionately known as Mom. Love from all your daughters and the grand creeps, as you call them. Happy 1-year wedding anniversary, Aki. Lots of love from Elizabeth, who says she's so happy you found each other. And happy 10th anniversary, Robin and Gail. Love Rob and Laura. Submit your milestone. Visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Another hot day ahead, above seasonal for sure, 28 degrees when 26 is what's typical, but we're well a far cry away from that record set back in 1926, and even much cooler than some of those highs we were seeing earlier this week. That humid X, that was kind of the culprit with all that humidity, hence the name, is not going to be quite as intense today. That's the good news. It's already feeling a lot more manageable out here on the rooftop. 15 degrees, clear and sunny, winds out of the west. Barometric pressure rising, humidity at 92%. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about the way the day is going to shape up and the August long weekend, because I know that's what everyone wants to know. Southern Manitoba, clear to kick us off, mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. The southwest, low chance of rain and thunderstorms. In fact, that's the case to the north as well. But for the most part, it's more likely you're going to stay dry and sunny. Highs throughout the south in the upper 20s. For us here in Winnipeg, as you saw, 28 degrees. To the north, temperatures peaking a few degrees cooler than that in the mid to low 20-degree range. For us overnight, partly cloudy skies remain. Temperatures dip to the mid to upper teens. And then tomorrow, basically a carbon copy of today, 28 degrees, mix of sun and cloud, even hotter on Sunday, 30 degrees with more sunshine ahead.
Tomorrow is Emancipation Day here in Manitoba. This marks the day when black slavery was officially abolished in this country. And recognizing this date affirms the rich heritage and significant contributions that black communities have made and continue to make in our province. Black History Manitoba is hosting special events tomorrow night at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. And joining us now with the details is Nadia Thompson from Black History Manitoba. Good morning, Nadia.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. What is Emancipation Day, and how long has Manitoba officially recognized it for?
Well, our official recognition started in 2021, so it's been 5 years. It's an important day that we recognize and celebrate and just acknowledge the fact that there was a Freedom Day, and we also recognize the importance of black history here in Manitoba.
For people in the black community, what did that passing of Bill 232? It was a long time coming. Your personal experience, what was going through your head 5 years ago?
There was a lot of hard work put into it and a lot of thought, and it gave us a voice and just a recognition of how important it is that the black history is not in our curriculum for our education system, and that change needs to happen, and this is like a first step to get there, but we have got a long way to go, but there continues to be steps being taken by our government officials, and we thank them for making those motions and making government aware of what's important to our community.
2026 is a big year for your organization. Black History Manitoba is celebrating 45 years. How are you marking the occasion?
We had a really fabulous February, and we continue going on throughout the year with different activities, so you can get everything on our website. But this Emancipation Day obviously is one of the important ones, so we're really excited for today.
And big event happening tomorrow night at the Human Rights Museum. What can people expect?
We have everything, a little bit of everything for everyone. So, of course, we have our lovely partners at the museum. We have some spoken word, we have drumming, we have a great performance from some young artists here in the city, and just a lot of fun education and promotion of who we are as a community.
Why is it so important to amplify those voices?
I think that we've been kind of silenced for a long time, and there's a lot more that we can do to make sure that people are aware of the importance of the Black community, not only here in Manitoba, but in Canada. And we want to make sure that there's a great platform for that, and so we encourage people to talk to each other and have those conversations and just explore our history the factual way.
And racism, unfortunately, still alive in our community. We spoke a few months ago when some graffiti on a playground, and your response, this is still happening. Yeah. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's sad but true, but we have to work together and understand each other, educate ourselves, acknowledge each other as human beings, and work together more. Kindness goes a long way, and as long as we continue having these conversations and voicing our opinions and making respectful communication a mandatory thing, then I think that we can work forward to make change.
And turning back to tomorrow night, who's going to be there? There's a few special guests.
We do, so of course we love having our government officials there. So Jamie Moses will be there, obviously, and Minister Zaguara, Councillor Chambers, and we've got Black History Manitoba will be there, One Voice. We have Ayo Sings doing a special presentation, and then we've got our drum master, Drum Cafe with Jay Stoller.
Before we go, if people are interested in attending the event, what do they need to know?
You can go to the Canadian Museum for Human Rights website or our website, bhmwinnipeg.com. Registration is always recommended so that we know what kind of numbers we are. The reception starts at 6 p.m. Program is at 7. We're going to have a really great time, and we encourage everybody to come. It's open to the public. We've all accessibility, so please do join us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nadia, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. Fort will head to the World Junior Summer Showcase. Finland taking on Canada, third period. Canada on the power play. A scramble ensues. Caleb Desmonier with a great chance, but Yester Rossi comes up with a huge stop, flashing the leather. One of his 26 saves on the night. Finland would go on to lose to Canada 5-3, but Rossi still earns your must-see moment from Thursday. Tonight on TSN, we've got Friday Night Football as the Alouettes visit the Red Blacks. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern across the network. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Friday, July 31st. Today, winds of destruction. Another summer storm wallops Winnipeg as the city picks up the pieces and thousands wait for the power to come back on. Also today, potential trouble for travelers. What experts say you should consider doing right away if you've booked flights with WestJet. And the essence of cool. This zoo in sweltering Prague supplies the bare necessities for keeping chill when temperatures soar. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. I'm Daniel Halverson, joined by Catherine Dow on a Friday ahead of a long weekend, well-deserved for everyone out there. Ainsley McPhail's at Thrive Community Sport. It's a hub in the West End where they provide services and programs for people living in the neighborhood. So we're going to check in with her. Brand new space, brand new kitchen. That was beautiful. Coming up a little later, we're going to talk to a local pickleball paddle company about a pickleball fundraiser they have coming up in next weekend. And it would be a pretty good day to hit those pickleball courts. It's quite nice out there.
That was like a tongue twister.
It was.
Local pickleball paddle company. Yes, it is going to be a gorgeous day to hit the pickleball court, maybe the tennis court. It's pretty gorgeous out there, sunny and clear, 15 degrees. Winds are light out of the west, not going to mess up your serve too much. Barometric pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 92%. Not a lot to show you on our radar, so little in terms of cloud cover to kick us off. That will be changing throughout the day. Our Futurecast paints us a better picture of that. You can see little clusters of clouds here or there. So while we start off on on a clear note. We'll start to see more of a mix of sun and cloud all throughout the province. Meanwhile, that very northeasterly corner, you can see again, there's a system there. Low chance of rain and thunderstorms, not just there, but all throughout the north and pushing down into the south, into the Parkland, into Dauphin, Swan River, Brandon, Nipawin. There we go. For us, though, likely to not deal with that low chance of rain or thunderstorms, maybe a little bit more in the way of clouds. Winds decently strong out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, we see skies remain partly cloudy, but this more organized system we start to see clip into the north, bringing not a low chance on Saturday, but on Sunday it really materializes, likely to bring that convective activity through northern Manitoba on Sunday, while we in the south staying clear and sunny and very hot indeed. Not to the degree we saw earlier this week, hallelujah, but still above seasonal, 28 degrees. That humidex not as fierce, that's for sure. Tomorrow, much the same, that mix of sun and cloud with a high of 28. Sunday looks to be our hottest of the weekend, 30 degrees, and then we cool down a little bit on Monday with a high of 24. 6-year-old Emmy drew this lovely shot of the bees loving those flowers and the lovely skies. Thanks for sending that in, Emmy. And if you want to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it is also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Keniston.
When Wednesday night's storm blew through southern Manitoba, it brought high winds, heavy rain, and a lot of lightning. And when it was over, the extent of the damage was visible. Downed trees and power lines left thousands without electricity. Storm damage wasn't just limited to power problems. Here's a look at the aftermath of a tree crashing through a Charleswood home. The homeowners just moved in about 6 months ago. They say when they heard the sound of the wind, they decided they had better move things out of their family room.
It hadn't fallen yet. It was coming up. We weren't sure if it was going to fall or not. I mean, like, the thing's massive. Like, we don't know. So we got everything out safe, and then as soon as we did, that tree came right through our living room. All of a sudden, you could just hear a quick, like, it was like just a simple branch snap, and all of a sudden, it just shot through the roof.
In several neighborhoods, the storm left massive branches strewn across roads and lawns, and even an outdoor structure blown to pieces. Over near the south perimeter in Maple Grove Park, a speaker tower and announcer's booth were blown over. As of 10 p.m. Thursday night, a Manitoba Hydro post on X indicated the damage is some of the worst ever seen by the utility for a summer storm, and as many as 14,000 customers were still without power. Police are investigating a possible hate crime at a mosque in the city's Munro West neighborhood. Police were called for reports of property damage at the Rama Islamic Center on Wednesday night. The center says shots were fired from a vehicle. It adds people got out of the car and attacked the building with weapons. Multiple smashed windows could be seen at the building, along with bullet holes on the walls and windows. There's no reported injuries. Police have not yet identified any suspects. We're learning more about a Canadian woman currently behind bars accused of spying on NATO.
The payoff for that operation is 15 years from now when that individual is the director or director general or higher.
Claire Biwei Zhang was vetted by CSIS and cleared by Global Affairs before taking a NATO internship. Experts say she was caught before she could do greater damage. CTV News was able to determine her identity using open data sources and court documents. Reuters had reported her name was Claire Zed, which matches the name of a former StatsCan employee identified in a federal court document. Before starting at NATO, her security clearance was approved by the Government of Canada. After vetting by CSIS, it's still not clear who the third nation she was allegedly spying on behalf of is. Cooling off in the shade can help beat the heat, but sometimes you just need to roll around in some ice, right? That's how these polar bears at the Prague Zoo are cooling off. Zookeepers put out tons of ice cubes as another heat wave hit Europe this week, and these two wasted no time rolling in the beds of ice. These bears are actually twins. The temperature soared to 38 degrees Celsius later that day. And take a look at Portage in Maine. Their traffic picking up. Looks like a pretty smooth drive, though. Pass those traffic tips along to us at 10-400. And Ainsley McPhail is live this morning at Thrive Community Support, learning about the programming there. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
Jess is joining me, and with Thrive opening their doors, It's been over 50 years, but on Spence Street recently opening their doors, we're standing in a room with tons of clothes, and these pieces go a long way. Jess, tell us about it.
Well, the clothing that you see here, we actually have a free market, so people can come in and choose the items that they want. So it's a shopping experience, and that really makes people feel good. They have the opportunity to shop, they feel dignified, and then they get to take the items that actually work for their families and things that they need. Mm-hmm. And that includes food as well.
Okay, and it sounds like a very empowering experience as well, because they're able to physically do it themselves. What does that mean to them and the community?
For the community, it gives them a sense of dignity. That's what we're really trying to do here at Thrive, create a welcoming space where they're going to come back, and then if they are struggling, they'll get the supports that they need, because they want to just come every day to communicate with the staff, to see other community members, to have a cup of coffee, and then sign up for the free market and clothing. And that really brings them in the door, and then it connects them to other supports.
The West End is such a thriving community as well. We're a vibrant community too. Maybe I'm just saying Thrive because of the name of the organization. But what makes this organization so special?
I think the difference about Thrive, just like our name, we want to create empowerment opportunities for people. So we have a lot of volunteers, we have students, we have opportunities for volunteers to be leaders. So we really want the community members to get the skills they need to move up in their life to get to the next step.
Where do you need volunteers right now?
Pardon?
Like specifically, where would you need? Yeah.
Oh, so we really have a need for picking up donations because we don't have the capacity for staff to go running and picking things up. Mm-hmm. So we do have a Thrive van that was donated by Birchwood and by Brothers of the Fork. They came together and got us a van. So we actually, anybody with a good driving record can go pick up donations for us. And then we do need help sorting and then some fixing things. Like if anything goes wrong, we always need a handyman because we also have our licensed childcare. And they're not in this building. They're kitty corner in the back, and so they always need somebody for help putting things together or just fixing something.
Wow, okay, your hands are full, but it does sound like a well-oiled machine. September 24th is the grand opening.
Thanks, Ainsley. The city of Saskatoon has been rocked by the cost of a recent art display. 3 giant rock-like sculptures made out of plastic waste. The price tag $300,000. CTV's Laura Woodward has the story.
Gage Haubrick isn't sold on Saskatoon's new public artwork. Created by 2 Calgary artists, these rocks are made from plastic waste. The city paid nearly $300,000 for the 3 sculptures located at the Forestry Farm, Diefenbaker Park, and the landfill's Material Recovery Center.
Taxpayers shouldn't be shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for large plastic rocks. It's ridiculous that anyone at City Hall thought this was a good idea.
In a written statement, the artist told CTV News the one-of-a-kind project required thousands of hours of specialized work and supported businesses in the local prairie economy. The city says the project aims to get people talking about recycling and plastic waste. Haubrick calls it a waste of money. He says the cost is equivalent to the annual municipal property taxes paid by 118 average homeowners.
So 118 families, their entire property tax bills went to building large plastic rocks instead of providing the services that people want in the city.
The city defended the spending, saying that the final cost remained within budget. City Council greenlit $310,000 for public art when it approved an adjustment to the Material Recovery Center budget in 2021.
I think the frustration and the response that we're getting from the community is valid. I've expressed my concern about the amount that this capital art program allocates, and I would like to see the percentage coming down.
Councillor Randy Donauer says he plans to bring up the concerns around these rocks at the next City Council meeting scheduled for the end of August. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Just a picture-perfect start to our day as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Yeah, just sunny and lovely out there, and that's really setting the stage for a similar thematic weekend to come, sunny, beautiful. You can see currently, while our temperatures are very warm, however, our humidex is not quite as punishing. Details on that in a moment. 20 degrees over in Morden and Winkler, 18 degrees in Sprague, Dauphin at 16 degrees over in the Parkland, the Wheat City at 17 degrees this hour. A little bit cooler in areas in the north, specifically Thompson, a bit of a chillier start, 12 degrees. 14 in Island Lake, over in the Paw, 16 degrees this hour. I mentioned the humidex, not as severe as yesterday. It was feeling closer to 30 degrees already by this early morning hour. It's just making it feel a few degrees hotter, so that's likely the case because of some cold air that has wrapped into our region over the last day, and you'll feel that little lift in that extreme humidity. Not a lot to show you on our radar because not a lot of cloud coverage everywhere, starting off on a rather sunny note. Getting up today to very warm temperatures, above seasonal, but again not as sweltering as has been the case the rest of the week. 18 degrees as we kick it off under those clear skies, and then you see those clouds start to build into the afternoon. Winds wrapping up out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. We're getting a little bit warmer than that high there, 28 degrees, 26 is what's seasonal. Overnight, skies remaining partly cloudy, northerly winds persist at 20 clicks. Then tomorrow, it's basically copy and paste from today, mix of sun and cloud and a high of 28. Couple degrees warmer on Sunday, 30, and then we start to see a bit of a cool down at the start of next week. We're taking a break. We're learning more about an autism program just ahead.
Alimentation Couche-Tard has agreed to buy Polish retailer Zabka Group for about $8.7 billion, expanding the Canadian Circle K owner's European footprint with its biggest ever acquisition. The deal marks a renewed focus on the region for Couche-Tard, whose efforts to buy grocery chain Carrefour SA was blocked by French regulators in 2021. More recently, it tried to acquire top rival 7&I Holdings, the Japanese owner of the 7-Eleven chain, but that was not successful. Amazon gained as much as 11% in pre-market trading on Friday after the e-commerce and cloud computing company reported second quarter results that beat expectations on key metrics, including revenue at its Amazon Web Services business. Analysts are positive about AWS's acceleration and backlog. Apple, meanwhile, tumbled in late trading after component shortages weighed on the company's sales forecast, signaling that industry-wide supply constraints are taking a bigger toll than anticipated. Revenue will rise 9 to 11% in the fiscal fourth quarter. Analysts had predicted more than 12. And Microsoft's blowout report Wednesday led to a massive 2.8% surge on the Nasdaq on Thursday. That carried into the Asian markets. The South Korean Kospi surged 17% overnight. SK Hynix hit its 30% daily limit. Samsung was up 27%. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Canada has about 500,000 people with autism and intellectual disabilities who want to work but aren't being considered for jobs. That's where the Ready, Willing and Able program comes in. It's a partnership helping people find meaningful employment, and the Autism Alliance of Canada says this program could help solve labor shortages in our province. Joining us now is Anna Cresta. She's the Executive Director of Level It Up and a member of the Autism Alliance of Canada. Thanks for being here, Anna.
Thank you for inviting me to come.
Now, first off, tell us a little bit about the Ready, Willing and Able, or Ready, Willing and Able program, and how does it work?
Yeah, so it began back in 2014. It's had federal government support for many years, and what it does is build demand with employers for talent from among people with intellectual disabilities and the autism spectrum. So it's really working it was a non-traditional way at the time. It's become more traditional because it's been around a little bit longer, but building demand, making employers feel more both ready, willing, and able to employ people, but also to tap into this talent pool that are really ready, willing, and able to work. So.
How could this help address labor gaps in our province?
So there are many people on the autism spectrum and with intellectual disabilities. For example, in Manitoba, there's probably upwards of 30,000 people who have been diagnosed as autistic and 20,000 diagnosed intellectual disability who are working age. And the employment rate for them is about 25 to 30%. So that means that there are a number of people who are sitting on social assistance or are in their parents' basements who are not employed. And yet many have post-secondary degrees. The people that I work with at Level It Up have post-secondary degrees, but are not able to connect with employers because of the systemic barriers that exist. Ready, Willing, and Able helps to address those barriers, and it's our hope that we can get some of these job vacancies filled with this talent.
Chatting earlier, you said what kind of jobs fit the bill? Well, everything fits the bill. It's not specialized work for people. It's any kind of job. Do you have any success story that you could share?
Well, I have a number, and it's been very exciting to watch. Because over the years, the early success stories started with their first jobs, but they're now being promoted into senior roles, management roles, which is really gratifying. It could be anybody from a software developer, a customer service representative, logistics. So it really covers the gamut of the kinds of roles that they can fill, but for me, it's so gratifying to see them get the job, but then to see them as star employees, valued employees, being promoted into other roles.
And gainful employment is so important to everyone. It gives people independence. It gives them a paycheck. It gives them, as you mentioned, maybe getting out of their parents' basement.
Yes.
Quickly before we go, how can business owners or managers get in touch?
So Google Ready, Willing, and Able. You'll learn all kinds of facts and figures. We are trying to urge government, the federal government, to include funding for Ready, Willing, and Able in this fall's budget. So talk to your MPs.
Sounds good. Well, we're out of time, but thank you, Anna, so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Mother Nature's already hard at work, working on a beautiful weekend ahead, an August-long stunner, if you will. 18 degrees, crystal clear, sunny. Winds out of the north at 2 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 85%. It's starting to heat up. I am in a linen suit. I thought that would be breezier, but yes, it's starting to feel humider out here, more humid, but much more manageable than what we were seeing the last couple of days. And as such, the humidex is not going to quite be as punishing, though it's still going to be lovely. We're starting off all throughout Manitoba on a clear note. We should see clouds build into the afternoon, mostly a mix of sun and cloud. There is also a low-lying chance of rain and thunderstorms through most of the province, all through the north and then down into the southwest. Red River Valley, not the case. Highs for us in the upper 20s. For Winnipeg, that's 28 degrees. Strong northerly winds expected all throughout the region at 20 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, temperatures in the southwest just a hair cooler, maybe at and around the 27-degree mark. The north, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures as well for you, a little bit cooler in the mid to low 20s. For us overnight here in the Red River Valley, skies stay partly clear. Temperatures dipping down to the mid to upper teens. Northerly winds staying at 20 clicks at their height. And then into tomorrow, just a copy and paste of today's forecast. 28 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Sunday looks to get pretty hot at 30 before temperatures dip down on Monday to about 24 in Winnipeg. A stunning shot of all those sunflowers just outside Emerson. Lyle is the camera person on that one. Thanks for grabbing the photo and sending it our way. And if you've got any to share, you can email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
With Folklorama starting Sunday, one pavilion finds itself suddenly in a bind after thieves made off with cultural attire critically needed for performances. You're looking at performances, food, and exhibits from previous editions of the Ghana Pavilion. Organizers of the pavilion say this year 3 bins containing costumes for the Ghana Union of Manitoba Dancers were recently stolen from a vehicle trunk. A post on Facebook says the pavilion urgently needs the following items, including West African print fabric donations, volunteer seamstresses or tailors who can help sew cultural attire, and 20 Ghana jerseys in children's sizes medium and large or adult small. Monetary donations are also being solicited to help cover fabric and material costs. If you can help them out, you're asked to call the number on your screen. That's 204-997-4864, or send an email to the address listed. A young mom with stage 3 colon cancer believes stigma stalled her diagnosis for more than 3 years. She says her symptoms were largely ignored by medical professionals, and she wants others to be vigilant about early detection, particularly in Indigenous communities. CTV's Abigail Beeman has the emotional story.
After 2 days, a nurse comes and disconnects the bag from me.
Jillian Niles shows us the realities of chemotherapy, part of a determined quest to prevent others from sitting in this hospital bed.
Numerous doctor's appointments saying, like, listen, there's something wrong. I don't feel good. And I'm having trouble going to the washroom. It's irregular. The blood in my stool is concerning. And they just kept sweeping it under the rug as, oh, it's hemorrhoids.
Niles suffered debilitating pain for 3.5 years, begging to be heard, she says, before a doctor finally ordered further tests.
Then they found my cancer, but they found it at stage 3.
Incensed it wasn't caught sooner, despite detailing symptoms and telling doctors her grandmother died of colon cancer. As an Indigenous woman, she says she was caught up in stigma.
They were very happy to say, okay, you're in pain, let me give you this medication. But at the same time, I was saying, no, I don't want the pain pills. I want answers.
Both incidence rates and mortality from colorectal cancer has increased in our Indigenous Inuit Métis populations, which is kind of alarming.
Radiation oncologist Mark Godet says that's true across all age cohorts. In general, colon cancer rates are on the rise for Canadians younger than 50. Niles wants screening ages lowered further. She is just 39. And of all of the parts of her life she's grieving, she can't work or volunteer. The hardest is being less hands-on with her 3-year-old son, Jack.
It's very unfair because I want to be the best mom I can be in the world. So hopefully I'll make that up to him next year and for the rest of his life.
In the meantime, she's grateful for family, including her twin sister.
I believe in you. Okay, good.
And the help of nurse Diego Caesar with the Ottawa Hospital's Indigenous Cancer Program.
All the barriers around stigma, around medication, about access to health care, my program tries to work with and improve the outcomes.
Niles hopes sharing her story will empower others.
Don't ignore the symptoms. Don't let them be minimized. Don't let them be brushed away.
Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's cute, and then there's this. This is a brand new red panda cub born at the Assiniboine Park Zoo. The zoo announced the birth on social media this week, but the cub was actually born in early June. Staff say both mom and baby are doing well. The baby will be made public later this summer, and a name has not yet been announced. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Sunny and a stunning start to our day out there. 18 degrees, again clear, winds are light, pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 85% this hour. Yeah, we're really getting a sense of how the weekend is shaping up because today is really just the start of just a sunny, gorgeous weekend ahead. Not a lot to show you on our radar because there's so few clouds out there. Much of the province kicking off the day on a clear note. There is a low chance of rain and thunderstorm throughout most of the province, the northeast included. Likely, though, it's just going to be a mix of sun and cloud with those clouds coming into the afternoon. Highs decent, above seasonal in the low to mid 20 degree mark, 25 in Thompson, over in Churchill. Warm for you at 23 degrees. Same risk goes for the northwest. Maybe rain, maybe some thunderstorms. More likely that mix of sun and cloud. Winds there also peaking in the mid 20s, or temperatures peaking in the mid 20s. Speaking of winds, they'll be out of the north throughout much of the day at their full force at 20 kilometers per hour. In the southwest, also that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. Highs continue to be at or above seasonal. 27 in Brandon and Nipawin, 26 in Dauphin and Swan River. For the Red River Valley, we're the only kind of Toronto area without that low chance of some rainfall. Likely a mix of sun and cloud for us. We'll see those clouds into the late afternoon. Temperatures peaking at 28 for Winnipeg. 26 is what's seasonal. The northwest, much the same. Clear skies in Kenora, a bit more cloudy the rest of the region. Temperatures in the upper 20s. For us, partly cloudy skies overnight. We'll see those winds prevail out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures dipping down to 17, so still quite humid. Tomorrow, basically the same as what we're seeing today. So if you're a fan, we're in luck. 28 degrees on Saturday, that mix of sun and cloud. And then by Sunday, clearer skies and hotter. 30 degrees before a bit of a come down on Monday, a high of 24 with a low chance showers.
A longtime downtown business is closing its doors. Signs posted at the Giant Tiger at Donald and Ellis say it's closing November 7th. This isn't the first location the discount retailer has shuttered in Winnipeg in recent years. It closed a location on Main Street and another on McPhillips back in 2024. At the time, officials told CTV News while theft and violence were affecting its Winnipeg stores, they were not factors in the decision to close. In a statement to CTV News, Giant Tiger stated, "We can confirm that the Giant Tiger store located at 345 Donald Street in Winnipeg will close on November 7th, 2026. The decision to close any of our stores is not taken lightly and is made with careful consideration and thorough analysis. Our priority is to ensure that staff and customers are supported, and we're working directly with affected employees." The company did not indicate what motivated the closure of the store. WestJet flight attendants could go on strike by Sunday, and flight cancellations could start today if talks stall.
Common at all to see these kinds of situations resolved with an agreement at the 11th hour.
Customers have until Tuesday to make a one-time change or cancellation without paying a fee. Keep in mind, if flight cancellations start going out, seats on other airlines and rental cars will get booked fast. Stranded travelers are entitled to be rebooked or get a refund. A widespread mosquito spraying campaign is being swiftly launched as West Nile concerns ramp up. Provincial data collected last week shows high numbers of adult bugs with West Nile virus. The province says the recent heat wave in southern Manitoba is speeding up the pest's growth, increasing the risk of a human infection. So it's spraying in Winnipeg starting this evening, weather permitting, at 9:30 p.m. According to the city, per the provincial order, buffer zones are not in effect within city limits during this fogging program. Exact dates and times for rural spraying will be posted on the province's and rural municipalities' websites. Areas impacted include a 3-kilometer perimeter around Carman, Stonewall, West St. Paul, Winkler, and Winnipeg. However, only parts of Manitoba's capital will be sprayed with Delta Guard, Kenniston and Northtown Road, King Edward and Old Commonwealth Path, and the North Perimeter at Highway 8. Check, check, and check again. Across Canada, reported cases of disease from ticks are on the rise. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth reports.
When George Fox walks in the park, he always checks his body, hoping to avoid a tick bite.
It's news you don't want to hear.
His fears are valid. There has been a noticeable increase in tick-related diseases in Nova Scotia.
Like anaplasmosis that are transmitted by the same tick.
Anaplasmosis is a bacterial infection that can be treated with antibiotics and is passed on to humans from tick bites.
More like a flu-like illness. So fevers, muscle aches, headaches.
Dr. Paul Bonner says over a 2-year period, starting in 2023, the number of cases for anaplasmosis doubled in Nova Scotia, jumping to 600 reported cases last year.
It does put more strain on the system. So certainly important for folks to recognize these illnesses themselves and seeking early care.
Biochemist Nicoletta Ferroni says ticks are spreading anaplasmosis, Lyme disease, and the Powassan virus. The number of reported tick-borne illnesses combined with recent mild winters and hot summers allowing ticks to thrive points to an increase in the black-legged tick population, which can carry dangerous viruses.
Is it because the tick population is actually increased over time? Yes, but it's also the more passive surveillance that we are seeing. So people that are actually looking for ticks, they're finding them, and then they're sending them for testing.
Which allows experts to have a general idea about the rate of increase for the tick population in Nova Scotia.
You can see that there is an exponential increase.
Using Health Canada approved spray repellent repellent and checking your body and pets for ticks is the best defense to avoid bites and possible illness. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
A look at traffic on Main and Broadway. Decent drive so far. Any traffic tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400. And taking a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg, the average is $1.79. That's a jump in the price compared to yesterday. The lowest price in the city is $1.55. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Time now for your answers to our question of the day. What do you have planned for the long weekend? Unkdi said more family time and more fishing is the best for a long weekend. Marlene will go to Detroit Lakes Shooting Star Casino in Grand Forks. Trevor shared he's going to the Icelandic Festival on the weekend. Natalie says I'll go for a walk in the Whiteshell and Lion Lake and relax in the sun. Relax is the way to go. And Sandy texted, living in Gimli, I'm staying in my house and yard this long weekend as there will be so many tourists in my town. I won't be able to move anyway. The fridge is stocked and I'll be enjoying inside my nice cool house. Thank you all for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
And let's check back in with CTV's Ainsley McPhail at Thrive Community Support in the West End. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
Well, you didn't ask me what I'm doing for the long weekend. I was going to go on for about 3.5 minutes. My niece is in town. I'm so excited.
I did meet her yesterday.
This
She's adorable.
Okay, we're
I'll let you talk.
Thank you, Daddy. All right, we'll pivot. We'll get to our jobs. We're at Thrive this morning, and we're talking all about some of the volunteers that make this space possible. This is on Spence, and it's a brand new location. Thank you so much to Sam for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Why did you want to volunteer?
I came here 3 years ago after a brain injury, and I was looking for something to do, and I found Thrive for Counseling, and I fell in love with the community and helping out people, and I ended up being here for 3 years, coming here every day. People in this area need help, and providing people with food and fresh coffee every morning just fills my heart, and I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm. And I understand you got an award.
Yes,
recently.
Yes, I did. It was the Volunteer Mental Health Community Member of the Year, and it's a huge honor, and I hope to show people that everyone in Winnipeg needs help, and volunteering is a major need, and everywhere needs it.
And giving back, are you seeing this in the faces and the experiences of other people from what you went through personally?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You see people come in, especially struggling off the street. They need help. We've had people come in here to get food and coffee, and now they're here volunteering, helping us out as well. So sharing my story and helping out people and getting them in the door is a huge inspiration. And I hope people see this video today and they want to go out and volunteer and help people.
Mm-hmm. Mental health, affordability, families, all of it. It's not easy. What's your hope for the future?
I hope people open up their hearts for mental health, especially around men's mental health. There's still a big stigma. Men should be tough and strong when there's men are struggling out there, especially women. So sharing my story and letting people know that talk about their mental health is a huge problem. And the more people do it, the more people see this, the more people get in the door and open up.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and for volunteering. That grand opening, September 24th. Everybody, have a wonderful long weekend.
Thanks, Ainsley. You too. And speaking of that long weekend, Catherine, it's a beautiful start to Friday, and it's looking like a good one the next few days.
It's absolutely gorgeous out here. Sorry, just fiddling with my earpiece slightly. Yes, sunny, stunning, very hot though. It was manageable out here. We're starting to feel the heat. 18 degrees, winds out of the north at 2 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity at 85%. The good news is the humidex won't be as extreme as we saw through this past week. However, temperatures still above seasonal, so if you're loving that July sunshine, that July heat, Mother Nature is delivering that in spades today and into this August long weekend. Through southern Manitoba, we start off clear. Clouds build into the afternoon. Highs in the mid to upper 20s. For us in Winnipeg, that's 28. A couple degrees cooler to the southwest, where there's also a low-lying chance of rain and thunderstorm activity. That extends all throughout northern Manitoba. Likely you're going to stay dry, but there's always that outside chance. The temperatures, meanwhile, in the north, peaking a few degrees cooler than what we're seeing here in the mid to low 20s. Then into tonight, skies remain partly clear through much of the province. Temperatures dipping to the mid to upper teens. For us tomorrow into the Red River Valley, much the same as we're seeing today. Mix of sun and cloud and that high of 28. And then into the rest of the weekend, things are heating up nicely. A high of 30 on Sunday.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A royal welcome in Montreal for a queen of the Olympics. Gymnast Nadia Comaneci returning to the city where she found glory to mark the 50th anniversary of the Montreal Games. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin has more.
Her trademark stance seen around the world half a century ago. Nadia Comaneci, nicknamed the Queen of the Montreal Games, returned to mark the 76th Olympics anniversary.
I am here because a 14-year-old decided to do something, 50 years ago. And I'm impressed as an adult right now about the courage that that 14-year-old had.
The young gymnast from Romania landed the first perfect 10 in Olympic history on July 18, 1976.
If you listen to the arena, people, you can hear, so I call it the Nadia touch.
The 10 was so unexpected, the scoreboard showed a 1.0. Her husband of more than 30 years now, fellow Olympic champion Bart Connor, who was also competing in Montreal, was sitting in the stands when she performed.
It changed the trajectory of the Olympic movement.
The Games were playing out with the backdrop of boycotts over apartheid, of the Cold War, of massive cost overruns for the host city. Many Montrealers still call the Olympic Stadium the Big O, as in O-W-E.
I think the whole Olympic movement was in trouble. And all of a sudden, some, 14-year-old girl comes from Romania and scores a perfect score, which had never been accomplished. And it kind of reinvigorated the value of the Olympics again.
Comaneci scored 7 perfect 10s in Montreal, picked up 5 medals and 4 more at the Moscow Olympics in 1980. She defected to the U.S. in 1989, escaping the brutal regime of Nicolae Ceausescu. This June, Comaneci was back in Romania to mark the 50th anniversary of the 76 Olympics, where she's revered by generations. But she's also welcomed as a local hero in Montreal, where her feats sparked a baby boom of women named Nadia in her honor. Now, her visit will be quite busy. She'll be receiving an honorary doctorate. There's a plaque unveiling and that parade of the women named Nadia. All that within 3 days. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Pickleball fever continues to catch fire as the sport surges in popularity across the country. And a local pickleball paddle company is using that popularity to help out the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Joining us now from Paddle Peels are Stephen and Sadie Garner. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Now, first off, Stephen, tell us a little bit about Paddle Peels.
Paddle Peels is a company that kind of came together within our community in Transcona, which just said, hey, let's take an already amazingly fun sport and just make it more unique to each player. So we came up with this product where you can actually put your own design onto your paddle, and it's removable and reusable. And so you can pretty much use it to promote your charitable event or your organization, or just say like, hey, this is kind of the style that I want to represent today, and then when you're done, you just peel it off and yeah,
very cool.
Reuse it.
Sadie, why don't you hold up the one you have there and show the folks at home? What does it say on there? Teamwork, stick to it. And what about on the other side?
It says, life is short, play pickleball.
Now, there's a lot of people playing pickleball these days, Sadie. Why do people love this sport so much?
I don't really know.
No?
I don't know.
Well, Stephen, what do you think?
Yeah, it just seems like it's fun. It's not overly high-paced. It doesn't have as much impact as a lot of other sports, and it seems like it's just very inclusive. So I think that's the primary reason, and I think the barrier to entry is not so high where you don't have to be spending tons of money to get involved in the sport.
Do the two of you get out and play?
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you have an event coming up next week, and it's called Pickleball for Wishes. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Yeah, so Pickleball for Wishes is a fundraiser in support of Make-A-Wish. And so it'll be on Sunday, the 9th, between 1 and 4. And we're just trying to do whatever we can to raise awareness and raise money for Make-A-Wish.
Why is the Make-A-Wish Foundation so important?
Well, why wouldn't it be? It's Make-A-Wish. So, I mean, we're always trying to help the kids and help the community, and Make-A-Wish has always been known as one of those amazing charities that really does make a big difference.
One of the cool things here is that Sadie actually put together all the notes for this. She has it in her book there. Sadie, why is it important for you to help out Make-A-Wish Foundation kids?
Because I'm a kid too.
No. And every kid needs a good trip. If they're going through something tough, helping them out is important to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who should register for this event?
Oh, everyone. We're doing it as a doubles event. Like I said, it's between 1 and 4. It's going to be at Dakota Community Center. So that's 1188 Dakota Street. And yeah, come to info@paddlepeels.com and come and register. But we think that anyone who wants to support the community, support Make-A-Wish, or just likes pickleball should definitely come out. Proceeds from the event will go to Make-A-Wish, obviously, and if you pick up a paddle peel at the event, the proceeds from that will also go to Make-A-Wish.
Very cool. Are both of you participating in the event?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to put some money on Cindy here. I think I saw her holding that paddle. You can find more information as well on paddlepeels.com.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you both for joining us, and have a great long weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wouldn't want to face Sadie on that court. She looks like a tough competitor. Shaping up to be a gorgeous day if you want to get outside and enjoy maybe some pickleball. 18 degrees, clear as a bell. Winds are light out of the north at 2 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 85%. Not a lot to show you on our radar because there's so little in the way of cloud coverage to kick us off. That will change into the late afternoon. We'll deal with a mix of sun and cloud. From there, a high of 28 degrees. Winds out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. Overnight, skies remain partly cloudy, 17 degrees. Those 20 kilometer per hour northerly winds persisting. Then into Saturday, basically a cut and paste of what we're seeing today, 28 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. And by Sunday, we're starting to get very hot, 30 degrees with lots of sunshine. And then into the start of next week, 24 degrees, a bit of a come down, low chance of showers, excuse me. And then we continue with those below seasonal values before a heat up at the next week.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
All right, let's send folks home with some long weekend videos. If you think AI is going to take over the world, this might change your mind.
Just count from 1 to 100 and don't stop.
Got it. Yeah. All right, I'll start us off. I'll say 1, and then the next day I can say 2, and we'll just go until we hit 100. Ready? I'll stop. 1.
Yep, I'm ready. So I'll go after you.
All this guy wanted was for the AIs on the phone to count to 100 together, but apparently it was harder than expected because they just kept on interrupting each other instead of counting.
How many eyes does it take to count to 100? We'll never know.
All right, now to a trick your dogs may not like.
No, don't get it! Don't get it! Don't get it! Oh no!
Dropping a flea pill and pretending like you don't want him to eat it. Have you ever tried that with your dog?
No, but this is a pro tip. I'll be keeping in my back pocket.
And finally, summer holidays are in full swing, and here's a man who has never met a stranger he didn't like. So Harold's an extrovert and is in his element when he's on holidays. He makes friends with anywhere he goes, which is the exact opposite of his wife, who captured this video saying, watching your husband make more friends on vacation than you've ever made in your life.
I could not relate. I don't want to talk to anyone on vacation. I'd rather shut in, so can't relate to Harold.
Well, Kat, have a great long weekend. It's here finally, and folks at home, stay safe. We'll see you next week.